live, boys. Cody Law. What's up, bro?
Nothing. We've already been talking for
We've been
an
talking
hour,
for the
so
last 2 hours, so
it's always weird whenever I watch podcasts and they're like, "What's up, man? How are you?" And I'm like, "I know you guys have been talking for at least 30 minutes before this."
yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, whenever we started, that people watching this are going to be like, dude, why does the BeanBoyz with 17 subscribers have
Yeah.
Cody Law and this motherfucker, you
We're
know?
family.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
You're the start of our podcast, pretty much.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
You're
Glad,
going to be
like,
the biggest guest for probably a while.
dude, three days before I leave.
Yeah.
Worked out perfect.
Yeah, for sure. So you're starting camp Saturday?
Saturday, I'll get in the evening, and I'll start on Monday.
You can talk a little closer.
It's hard for me. Don't know how to get this thing to stay.
So you have your fight booked next fight booked.
Yeah, June 16th.
June 16th.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
gives you what, a little bit over a month to prepare.
That'll be 6 weeks of training, and then the 7th week will be fight week, so I'll
Right.
just be in there.
And so that fight camp will be pretty much just preparing for this guy specifically.
Yeah, I'll just go down there and spar, roll. I mean, I'm already pretty much ready, so it's just
Yeah.
extra readiness.
But I mean,
For
like
the fight.
tailoring your
Yeah.
training towards one specific guy.
Yeah,
Like,
a
do you
little
know,
bit.
Is this guy like southpaw,
Yeah.
conventional, wrestler, jiu-jitsu, striker?
I know a little bit about him, but this time I think we're just gonna not worry about him.
Right.
You know, I don't care. Just gonna do me.
Right.
And in the past, I've gotten a little bit too over analytical, where
Right.
I'm really like, okay, he does this, all these things, on top of watching Huberman Lab and all these other things and information overload.
Mm-hmm.
You almost get overwhelmed. This time, I want to kind of take a step back,
Yeah.
not watch Huberman Lab podcast, not listen to all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
just fight.
Not be
That's
so
awesome,
anal
you know?
about everything.
Yeah, because you think about within wrestling, we had too many opponents to prepare for. So you just wrestled every week, twice a week, whatever. So
Yeah, you just kind
I
of
wanna
focus
get
on
back
your
to
own
that.
shit.
yeah, that's what I want to do this time.
Yeah.
Not worry too much about who I'm fighting, because for all I know, this guy will pull out. I've already had 2 guys pull out. This is the 3rd guy, so
Oh,
you never
really?
know.
Like,
Yeah, dude.
Your most recent 2 fights that you were
Yeah.
going to, they both pulled out.
Yeah,
Wow.
maybe 4 weeks ago, I had an opponent, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm fighting him. And then I got a text when I was here, maybe 2 weeks ago, from my manager, and he sent me a new name. And I'm like, oh, jeez, here we go. And he's like, this is your new guy. So I look him up, and I text back. I'm like, all right, the other guy pulled out. My manager texts me back. Abe, he writes back, yeah, this guy just did too, working on somebody else. Literally within 30 minutes of sending me the name, he had pulled out.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works
That's so weird.
behind the scenes, but
Does that happen pretty often?
yeah, I think so.
Because a lot of the fighters
think
that I
so.
know that are in the amateur, like, it's pretty often that their fights get pulled.
Amateurs especially.
Yeah.
Which, what's amazing is not one of my amateur fights got pulled.
Mm.
I never had an opponent change
But some
or
of them
anything.
wish they pulled.
Yeah.
Guys probably
Yeah.
knew going, and they're like,
Dude, they
I'm gonna
never-
get killed. I'm gonna get killed anyway, but at least I can say I could fight a guy that's a national champion.
That's what I was worried about with like the wrestling. I was
Mhm.
afraid everyone would just be like, never mind.
Yeah, it's kind
But
of
I got a ton of
intimidating
fights.
thing. Yeah.
Dude, I got five in a row. Nobody said no, which was nice.
So you fought 5 times in 1 year.
When I turned pro, yeah.
Yeah.
5
What year was
times in
that?
1 year.
2019?
2020. 2020 into 21 from like
Okay.
October to November, so 13 months, but
Wow.
5 fights.
It's a lot.
Yeah, dude, it was nice.
Yeah.
But it was hard making weight. Not that my weight cut's super hard, but making it 5 times in 1 year, like I basically just got smaller,
Yeah.
Right.
from keeping my weight down basically for a whole year,
Mhm.
So after
which I
you,
don't like.
you were getting quick finishes.
Yeah.
And if you weren't getting the finish, you were pretty much dominating the fight. So would you leave the fight being like, okay, I took 0 damage. I want to get a fight scheduled as soon as possible just to get some more cage time.
Yeah, that's how the first fight was.
Right.
Because it was like, I don't know, a minute. And
Darce choke.
no strikes landed, Darce choke. So right away I was like, hey, let me fight again. I'm also young and excited. I'm getting a paycheck.
Right.
And they gave me a fight like 5 weeks later. So I like went to Bitter Goose Lodge, which is like a cabin in the middle of nowhere. No service, eating everything because I had like almost like a borderline eating disorder. And then right back to Florida, 4 more weeks of training, back to fighting again. But it was nice because I got 2 paychecks.
Yeah.
Basically at the same time right before Christmas. So all of a sudden I went from like $0 to a bunch of money.
That's
Right.
awesome.
And I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm rich.
Spend it all,
I'm
man.
texting my friends. I'm like,
Balling out.
I texted my buddy. I was like, guess how much money I have in my bank right now. You know?
That's sweet.
That's so cool. That's
Then I
probably-
found out about taxes. I mean, I knew about taxes, but whenever I actually learned, like, holy shit, I'm gonna pay like 40% of this away, because I'm an LLC.
Yep.
You have to pay your Social Security, retirement. So it's like 38% tax rate,
Right.
That
which
sucks
is
because, like,
insane.
yeah, like when you have an LLC, so you get all the money at first, whereas when you get
Yeah.
a paycheck from a company, you work a job, they take it out, so it's not as painful. You gotta like give this lump sum of money.
Dude, it hurts. It hurts. Now I pay like quarterly
Mhm.
installments towards the next year.
That's nice. 'Cause you might get like a refund or something. You
I'm
might
hoping to get a
overestimate.
good refund because I think I had a good bit of write-offs and stuff,
Yeah,
but it's fucking terrible.
yeah,
You know, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure. So then you had those 2 fights before Christmas, and then what did you do? 3 fights in 8 months, something like that, roughly.
Yeah, I fought. After those two was April, July, I think, and then November.
Hmm.
So it was 13 months.
In that span, you really took. That's when you really started taking off, huh? Like in terms of recognition, in terms of sponsorships, you know.
Yeah, maybe. It's honestly, I haven't really ever stopped and thought about it. So I'm just,
Yeah, you probably can't.
just I am where I am. You know.
Right.
I'm thinking I don't have enough right now. I'm trying to get more.
Yeah, that's cool.
But
Yeah, you probably can't really think about it, huh? Can't really think about it too much.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this last fight, it's been 6 months. So I've had some time to like sit back and think about like, okay, what have I done? What do I need to do better? You know.
Mm.
Even just the other day, I was thinking about like the last 10 years. Like, have you ever really sat back and thought like, what have I accomplished in the last 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time I ever did that. Because then I was thinking, okay, can I accomplish that much in the next 10 years? You know, what would that look like? Which is nice.
that's a really
Nice
cool
to like
perspective.
sit back and
yeah.
think, you know?
Just like actually, that's so true. Like you don't really ever even think about all the things that happened for you to
Yeah.
get to that point where it's like, holy shit, like you've
Yeah.
been through a lot of stuff.
You accomplish one thing, and then it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I have to do this thing now too.
Mhm.
And so that thing is just like forgot about.
Mhm.
10 years later, you're like, oh shit, I did that,
Yeah.
you know?
That's what's cool about people like you, that like it's almost like you genuinely cannot survive life without having that like extreme goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just move throughout your life and you're not trying to achieve something like extremely like spectacular,
Yeah.
it's almost like you know something just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely. I've thought about that too with like retirement someday. I think about, okay, well, all I've ever known is like athletic goals.
Mhm.
What happens whenever that's done? When I'm 36 or 37, and now it's just like,
It's gonna go right
What
into something
happens?
else, bro.
yeah, I hope
You're
so.
gonna have that same desire,
Yeah.
but some other weird
hope
thing.
so.
It definitely
I
will.
hope so.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like a family,
Mhm.
like maybe
Yeah.
making like have business, but make my family that like extreme goal.
Mhm.
You know,
I
raising
listen-
good kids or something.
Yeah, I listened to this one dude. He was talking about how every 10 years he masters one thing. So like his first thing he did was when he was 17, he became like a chess prodigy, whatever, master. Was won whatever the championship is in chess. And then he did like painting, and for 10 years he learned how to be a painter. And it was like the whole thing was this guy practices like the death of the ego
Yeah.
so often that it's like he's the epitome of like living in the moment, because he'll master something and then he just throws it away, start fresh from
crazy.
something else. Yeah.
How was he making money? How was he surviving?
Was
No
that
idea.
David Cho?
No, it was something on Twitter, some random thread about, it was just some guy
Yeah.
saying like, this is the most interesting man in the world. And then he like listed like this guy was a master in like 7 different things.
See, that's the thing I always think about is like those things sound so romantic and nice, but then like you get sucked into real world. Like, well, how are you making money?
Yep.
How are you paying? Like, does he have a family? How do you just health insurance? Like
Yep.
all these things I didn't think about when I was 25 even.
Mhm.
Now I'm more of an adult, I guess. And it's like,
Yep.
wow, dude, you need to have insurance. You need to pay taxes. You need to save money. Like, I see a lot of these people like that, and I'm like, well, what are they doing?
Yep.
How are they surviving?
In a way, like working on your passion is a luxury, you know?
Yeah.
Like most people don't get to work on their passion. They're working to get to a point where they can work on a passion,
Yeah.
from saving up money or, you know, becoming stable enough where they can actually pursue something like that. But it's like pretty rare that you see someone able to do
Yeah.
it like early, you know?
That's the funny part whenever people like kind of do jobs that they really hate, and they're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this job for a certain period of time, and then I'm going to be able to do what I want in life. Like, you're
That
not
never
even,
happens.
No, you're
Most.
not. It's not. First of all, that's not going to happen because you're not going to find a way to be satisfied. Second of
Yeah.
all, like, it's kind of a flawed theory, because what you just think you're just going to stumble upon something you love doing, and it's just going to consume you every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you almost have to take that risk early on and just say like, because that's the thing. The other side of it is like if you're doing what you love, if you're doing this like sort of like self-employed dream, the flip side to it is you lack security. Whereas if you get a regular job and live a regular life, you have health insurance, you have you know how much money you're making every week, like everything is secure. So you kind of have that on the other side. Like that's the luxury, I guess, of having that regular job is you know how much money you're getting every week. Like you have stability.
Right.
Whereas like in my profession, like you don't know when you're gonna make money, or there's a ton of variables.
So with fighting specifically, I always wonder like how is that like there's people that go into fighting and they don't necessarily like have the ambition to be a champion. And those guys are kind of like, you know, whatever, but someone like you, like how do you balance kind of knowing that, well, I can spend this money because I know that, you know, I'm going to keep fighting because if, you know what I mean, I'm going to keep going. But, you know, there's also the chance that I tear my ACL next jiu-jitsu practice and I don't fight for 12 months. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, dude, that's the stressful part about fighting, especially like with me, you know, I like to take care of my family and stuff like that too. So I have a lot of responsibility. And so that stuff stresses me out. But at the same time, like what gets me out of it is I always think like I've never failed. I've never hit rock bottom. I've never ran out of money. It's not going to happen now. I always just tell myself like, dude, I'm not going to run out of money.
Right.
Like, so I will, like, I'll be like, oh my God, I'm getting low. I got to not spend this money. And then I'm like, dude, you're not going to run out of money. Like, is that really a reality? Like, you're just going to go broke, lose your house, everything's gone? Probably not.
No.
You know?
Well, you're also at the point now where you've kind of like acquired a rare skill. Like you kind of mastered like wrestling, and then you're also really good at jiu-jitsu, and you're proficient in boxing and kickboxing, so you could also like take that and be a coach at the point you're at right now. You know, if you tear your ACL or tear something, you know.
I mean, that would be like failing,
right?
You know, even though it's not.
Well, you could even do it on
like
the side,
that,
you know.
Yeah,
it's
maybe
camps and all that.
So this thing, I don't even try to think about that stuff.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
block that out.
Isn't it funny how like that's not even in your thought process whatsoever, and it can't be.
Definitely creeps in because I'm human, but then I have to be like, no, I'm not. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You know, we gotta straight and narrow here.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But
even that scares me because, like, you know, my dad's kind of like, you know, get a job. Like, you need a job for the summer. But for me, it's like I want to work as hard as I can in wrestling because I only have, say, 3 or 4 more years left of wrestling. I want to see how good I can get. So that's pretty much my job. Like, it's 100% my job. Like, you know, Christmas, I'm working out. Birthday, I'm working out. No matter what it is, like, I'm finding a way to get better at wrestling. But then all of a sudden, like, if I get hurt this next practice, then like now I don't have that anymore. Now I have to kind of 360 and get a job, or I don't have an excuse anymore to not do an internship, you know, or something like that.
I think that's when you get hurt. It's whenever you're thinking about it. When you're focused on like, oh my God, I'm gonna blow my ACL out. Blow your ACL out.
Right.
You know, I never think about getting injured. Like, I think I do things to prevent it, but I never think like, God, I hope I don't blow my knee out today.
Yeah.
You
Dude,
know,
even like
it's a terrible thought.
You know, I hurt my knee the other day, and luckily nothing was torn. But it's so funny how I go week to week, and I don't think about getting hurt at all because I feel great every day. Like, I feel great. I'm doing everything right. Like, I'm training good. I'm doing ice baths, all of that. And then all of a sudden, my knee starts hurting really bad when I'm wrestling. It's like kind of collapsing on me. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I'm gonna be out for 10 weeks. I don't know, 9 weeks. Yeah. Then luckily I got my MRI, and it came back, nothing was torn. But I was lost for a little bit because I couldn't wrestle for 4 days. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, like every situation started running through my head, you know, like I'm gonna be out for 9 weeks. Like, you know, how am I supposed to get back in shape? The shape I'm in now, you know.
Yeah, it's human. It's a human experience.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's worried about everything. We just pretend like we're not.
Yeah.
You know, you tell yourself you're not, but you are.
I think also too because it has happened to me. Like I tore and I broke my arm at the same time. Yeah. So it has happened to me where I've gone through 6-7 months where I can't wrestle and I can't work out at all. Yeah. And I lost that completely. And now I'm like, what am I anymore? Like, that was my thing. Like, I was like the athlete. You know, I was the guy trying to win states, trying to win nationals, trying to get a scholarship or just be really good at this one thing. And now I lost this, and now I'm kind of lost. I don't really have a desire to get a job. You know, I don't really have a desire to like do anything else. Of course, I love hanging out with my friends, but besides that, I was like kind of lost. You know,
it's your identity.
Yeah, it is your identity. I mean, you gone through the same thing, obviously, with your shoulder.
Worst time of my life.
Yeah,
really.
What was it? Go through how that happened. I don't really remember.
Dude, that whole time period was bad because, So that was like 2017 of my junior year, and Nick died.
Right.
Nick Roberts died right after regionals, the night of regionals.
That was the night of regionals.
Yeah, we were coming back from regionals, and I kind of heard like some like rustling in the back of the bus, like people were talking about something happened, but I was kind of like, oh, it's college, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then we found out, like once I got home, I literally had just walked in the door and was eating with my mom, and I got a call saying like, hey, you need to come to campus, you know. And then they'd obviously found Nick, and he was dead. So we kind of went through that process, and it was like memorial service Monday, school memorial service Tuesday, funeral like Wednesday, burial, all that stuff, which was
Jesus.
When you're young, like for me, that was the first person my age that had ever died too. So it was like
How old were you guys?
22, I think.
Wow,
22 years old, which it was really young. At the time, you don't feel like you're young, but looking back, it's like, man, 22 years old, you're young.
Says a 20-year-old. Says a 20-year-old. That's not young sitting here.
Yeah, it's pretty young, man.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of this weird thing where I think we were all emotionally exhausted and we didn't know it, you know, because you're around like all the sadness and stuff. Go to nationals. Also like dealing with some relationship problems and stuff, which is such a distraction. They always tell you it is. You never listen, you know. But I'm dealing with that, and then at nationals, like easily the best guy in my opinion. Like I was sure I was gonna win. Like it was like, oh, I'm gonna win nationals.
Had an undefeated season.
Yeah, crushed everybody.
Won regionals.
Won regionals easy.
Number one seed.
Number one seed. I was going there like to win OW. Like I'm thinking like I'm gonna kill everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy out of nowhere, I lost in the quarterfinals in overtime, and it's like a nightmare. Still never watched the match back. Like
Wow.
One of the worst moments of my life. And then the next day, I'm in the Conti quarters, 6 seconds left in the match. This kid stalled the whole match. I'm in on a high crotch. He jumps over top of me, tear my pec right off the bone.
Jesus.
6 seconds left. So we finished the match, and I knew, like the trainers were telling me, oh, you know, you're fine. You strained your bicep.
You won that match?
I won the match, yeah. But I had to forfeit for third and fourth because I couldn't even move my fingers. Like I don't know what was going on, but they were telling me like, oh, dude, you're fine. But we went home, got a MRI, and right away they said, you have to have surgery in the next 5 days or we can't repair it. So it was clean off the bone, taken off the bone.
Shit.
So like I remember when they were rolling me back towards surgery, the anesthesiologist was talking to me, and he was like, you know, I don't know, we were chit-chatting or whatever, and I said like, yeah, I gotta get back for my senior year. And he was like, oh, you won't be back, bud. You should just take a year off. And I was like, no way.
Wow.
You know, because I'm heartbroken. Like, all these terrible things just happened. My dream is gone. What's the first thing you want to do after losing? You get back to work, try to prove yourself, you know? This guy's telling me, like, you're done for the impending future. 6 months later, he came back. But, dude, those 6 months were terrible. You know, I kind of got, like, skinny fat, lost all the muscle in my arm.
What was it to tear off your bicep?
My pec. Where it inserts on the bone here, snapped clean off.
Oh, it's that.
Wow.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Just, I remember hearing the pop, you know.
I remember that too.
Terrible.
Yep. I remember hearing the snap.
Yeah, that was the worst pain I think I've ever felt too.
Yeah, me too.
After the tear, whenever I had to wrestle the last 6 seconds, he was coming at me like crazy, and I posted with it instinctually, and just, terrible.
Damn.
Terrible.
Wow. So then you had a 6-month recovery.
Yeah, 6 months.
Then you just came back into your senior season right away. First match. You ready?
Yeah.
Did you do preseason?
I think I got cleared officially in like September.
So roughly November.
So I had
November's first dual meets usually, right?
Yeah, I lost the first match back.
Really?
First match.
First match back, I lost to like a kid from. It was a Division 1 kid.
It was a Division 1 kid. I do remember that.
Yeah, I lost like 3-2 or something, and I was just like not myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through that for like all of November and December. I was like in the depths of despair. My weight was bad, even though I wasn't that big, because my body was like out of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I wasn't wrestling good, and I was like, dude, so overwhelmed. And
Yeah.
then I had like a good long talk with, I think, Jake Strayer, who was like, dude, you just need to relax. And once I relaxed and like quit being a psychopath about everything just went so much better.
Mm-hmm.
It was ironic because like the best season of my career ended the worst of my career. And then like one of the most adversity filled seasons, my senior year, ended with like the cherry on top.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like almost a good example for life.
Right.
You know, it's like
Seriously.
crazy.
So like when he says, for people that don't do maybe combat sports, like when he says you just need to relax.
Yeah.
Kind of elaborate on that a little
bit. I was being super crazy. Like I was literally looking at the sodium content of chicken breast.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, oh, it's sodium. That's why I can't lose weight. I got too much sodium.
That's crazy.
So I'm being that crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, like I remember like being almost.
We're back. Cody.
I don't remember.
So, you lost your first match of the year against a Division I opponent. Your senior year.
Yeah, I was.
And
being
then Coach
a
Strayer
spaz.
told you to just kind of relax.
Yeah, told
and
me
you
to
were
relax.
elaborating a little bit on.
I was looking up sodium on chicken breast,
Right.
being a lunatic.
Right.
Basically.
So what does that mean? Like relax.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. I just remember when I started relaxing, I was drinking like 0 alcohol. Every ounce of food I was eating was perfect, like spinach and chicken. And then I kind of cut back, started eating Halo Top, and started not counting all the food I was eating. And like every few weeks, I would have a glass of I'd pour like an ounce of vodka into a glass of beet juice. And I'd sit down, like clean bedroom, and watch I remember watching the Icarus documentary and having that glass. And just that one glass would like give me a buzz, but it didn't affect you at all.
Yeah.
So that was like me relaxing, being like, okay, dude,
That's
you're
funny.
gonna be fine. And then everything got better. I started wrestling way better. My body, my weight dropped. I really believe my weight was bad, in part from the surgery, but in part from being so stressed that I was like holding in water and shit,
Dude, that's a real thing because, people that have type A personalities, kind of like me and you used to always tell me, relax. You used to always tell me that, kind of relax.
Yeah.
I didn't really even know what that meant either.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like I'm doing every single thing right to like a T. And when you do that, and then sometimes maybe you don't win or you don't perform to your expectations, you're like kind of lost.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't if I did everything right and I'm still not doing to my expectation, then like, what's wrong with me? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Sometimes that's to your detriment when you're doing too much. You're like, you're tracking, I was like 17, tracking like my sleep to the T, tracking like my recovery to the T. Like I wouldn't eat certain foods on certain days because you don't want to eat like anti-inflammatory foods whenever you lift because you want the inflammation. Like I was like I was OCD-ish, way too OCD-ish. And then I remember my senior year, obviously I tore my UCL, which is your ligament in your elbow, and then I broke my arm that next match. And then to me, I was like, I beat a kid like 8-7 that I beat like 15-2 earlier that year. Yeah. And to me, that was kind of the point where I was like, whatever. I did everything right to a T, and this still happened. Like I'm just kind of, from now on, every time someone would try to give me advice, I'd be like, I just had to tune it out. You kind of remember that. Yeah. Him and my mom would always kind of try to talk to me. And I was just like, I don't want to hear anything right now. Like I don't want to. Yeah. I just want to kind of like forget about wrestling and then just go out there and just do it.
Yeah.
But I feel like almost everybody who has that like inner urge to achieve something great goes through something like that, because it's really like it's like if you like, I mean, this is, maybe you guys haven't done this, but whenever you're visualizing like what you see your future as, like I literally could like cry over the idea of like me achieving the things that I want to achieve in my life. And I'm like, it's like so emotional to me. It's like, I want that so fucking bad and I want it now, And I'm sure like you guys are probably the same. Like if you think of winning, like becoming the champion of Bellator or the UFC or whatever, it's probably like super fucking emotional, Yeah. And it affects your life. It affects your life like in ways that you would never even imagine.
Right.
Yeah, you get obsessive. You do too much sometimes.
Right. I would be driving home from Pittsburgh from practice on whatever, Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, and I would just turn off my music and I would completely think about the moment of me winning states and like me hugging my mom, me hugging my dad, and like hugging all of you guys. And I would 100% like feel like I actually did it in that moment, and I would get teary. Yeah. Like I actually felt it happening right now. And then when I would do that, and then when I didn't win, I'd be like, what was that then? Like, what was that?
Yeah.
What was that feeling?
Yeah, I mean, life is not a rigid video game where it's like if you do X, Y, and Z, you're gonna get this. If you type in this cheat code, this is going to happen. Sometimes it just doesn't happen, and it's maybe for something better in the future. You know, maybe it makes you more driven. Like we were talking about earlier, like with the kids who get bullied in school.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that horrible few years of their life makes them so driven that they end up being a billionaire.
That's why I wanted to ask you, like whenever you talked about tearing your pec, like when did you conceive the idea that you wanted to be a fighter? And then from that point, when did you realize that you wanted to be like the best?
Well, I wanted to be a fighter when I was like 15.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was bullied whenever I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was not popular, and I wanted to be popular, obviously, like anybody. And then I watched the George St. Pierre fight, and everyone was going crazy for him. He was my favorite fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, if I do that, I'll be popular. So that was when I decided to be a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as being the best, like you just kind of always want to be the best.
Like if you're gonna do it, you want to do it.
Yeah, I never thought like, oh, I'll be a fighter, I'll make some money, like whatever. Like I always thought like, oh, I'll be world champion.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, why not? You know, and then it just sticks with you from when you're young. You have like way more of an imagination. If I decided to be a fighter right now, my imagination, I would be way more practical, right? I would be like, oh yeah, like let's just, how much money can we make, you know?
Yeah.
But
that's funny.
I got that when I was a kid, so now it's just fucking in me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So, just for purposes of people that don't really know you, like you weren't very good 7th, 8th, 9th grade wrestling.
No.
So what was the difference? When would you get second at states and then first? Your junior and senior year.
Yeah.
And you wanted. So when did you start, you know, really dedicating yourself to like, I'm gonna be the best in the state. Like I'm gonna go all in on this.
7th grade was kind of when I started wrestling, and like that was the year where I was like, oh, dude, I want to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
So like a little bit towards the end of 7th grade, and then all of 8th grade on.
You started wrestling in 7th grade?
Yeah, I wrestled like at Richland a little bit. I just did practices,
Mm-hmm.
but I never really competed. Not that I remember really. I think maybe just like once or twice. But then 7th grade, I was going to quit. I wasn't going to wrestle. And then I was kind of like, Mr. Brandis kind of like persuaded me in a not so friendly way. Like I was scared of him. And then, so I did it, and then I got really into it. And that was it. And from there on out, I was into it.
And then what was the moment where you were like, I can win states? Like, I want to go for a state title. Because PA is like, if you're winning states in PA, you're top 10 in the country.
Yeah.
100%. And a lot of the times, you're top 5 in the country.
Yeah, it's the best state.
It's the best state, hands down. You know, there's some guys from New Jersey that are good. California's always good because it's such a big state. But pretty much PA is like, if you win in PA, AA or AAA, you're top 10 in the country.
Yeah.
Which is a huge thing.
Dude.
You know, it's a huge thing.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Dude, for
So what was that
me,
moment you conceived that?
I can remember it was at Franklin Regional. We drive every Sunday to practice at Franklin Regional for young guns. And I was in 10th grade, and I was wrestling a kid who I knew was ranked 3rd in the country in high school. And I was fucking whooping him. And I was like, my dad was there. I was like, oh. I remember driving home thinking like, state champion this year, baby, you know? Like I was sure, and I was pretty sure I was going to wrestle a kid. His last name was Carr. I think Nate Carr, David Carr. Do you remember those guys?
Yep.
There's like 3 brothers.
Mm-hmm. The Carr,
He was good too. I think he ended up winning, or else he lost to there was a kid from Sharon that maybe he lost to. But I was so sure I was gonna be state champion. I didn't even make it to states.
Your 10th grade year, you didn't make
My 10th grade year, I was so good in practice. I was good at wrestling. Not naturally, but like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But when it came to matches, man, at regionals, I remember being at the War Memorial, and my teeth were literally chattering. I was so nervous. Like I was so nervous, and it was cold. Mm-hmm. And I lost my first match, and wrestled all the way back to 5th and 6th. Wrestled a kid named Michael Fetchit, who I was like sure I was gonna beat, and I lost because I was so nervous. And that's the moment I was like broken. You know, John Stradmatter told me to wrestle 100 matches that summer, and I did it. It made all the difference. I ended up wrestling that Michael Fetchit in the state semis my junior year and fucking beat him. It was a great moment.
Legendary though.
Yeah, that kid was like, he was pinching
story.
my throat and shit, or he was digging his thumb into my throat, like throat blocking me. And I beat him, and I was like, that's right, bitch.
I remember.
He's probably a nice guy. I mean, you know, but I hated him at the time.
I remember I was wrestling. That was probably like my last year wrestling, my freshman year in high school. But I would go to Young Guns and there anymore because you were gone or doing something else. I don't remember exactly what happened. I just remember you weren't at Young Guns and I was at Young Guns.
Yeah.
And they were bringing you up and they were like, "Who in this room is going to be the next Cody Law?"
The
guy who didn't even make it to States. Now he's getting second. And he's getting, you know what I mean? Like
that's funny.
Yeah. I remember thinking that. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. A lot of it's because of them.
Mhm.
You know, like
Seriously.
they made me so good, and then John telling me to wrestle 100 matches like changed my life.
Yep.
Dude, like if I hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't have been as good in college, wouldn't be signed at Bellator, like changed my life.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
100 matches. It's a lot.
Yeah, to anyone
It's
that's
a big
listening,
task.
summer wrestling is huge.
Yeah.
You know, 100 matches is a lot, but you can do it with freestyle.
What makes
know.
you better at wrestling when you compete as compared to when you just practice all the time? You learn how to compete.
Well, competing, I think there's a lot of nerves involved. You know, you don't open up. Maybe in practice, you're not so worried about winning and losing. Competing, it just gets you familiar with winning and losing, you know, and putting it on the line, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it makes you less nervous. For me, I needed to compete because I was too nervous. Where now, like, I don't get nervous at all. Not even to fight, which is more serious than wrestling. But back then, man, I mean, my teeth would literally chatter. Like, I would shake. I was so nervous.
Yeah.
What about your first fight though?
I wasn't nervous.
At
My
all,
first
really?
amateur fight, I was scared shitless.
Okay, that's what I meant.
Yeah, my first amateur fight, I remember being upstairs because it was outside.
Mhm.
And I was upstairs in the building looking down, and I was the first fight of the night, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I don't think I'm going to do it. And the guy punched me, like, pretty hard right away. And I was like, nope, I'm shooting. Took him down, arm triangled him. But then in Bellator, I thought I was going to be, like, really scared because it's my first professional fight in Bellator. And I was like numb, like emotionless. It was pretty weird.
Uh-huh.
And it's been that way ever since.
That's
I
cool.
think just a lifetime of competing, you know,
Right,
maybe it
yeah.
just changes like that, you know. And I think you'll get the same way if you just keep wrestling a lot, you know. You'll, even if you don't really get nervous, you'll get a step further where you're willing to, like, you're not afraid to lose. You'll open up and get after it, you know.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big thing for me is like understanding what competition is. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
It's almost like me and you talked about this last time we wrestled, and I've been thinking about it a lot. Before, I would always think, you know, if I'm better than the guy, then I'll just win. You know, if I'm better, I'll just end up winning, and if I'm not better, then I won't win. But I guess sometimes maybe I would lose to someone.
I think we were gonna switch into just like regular everyday shit, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know, talk about wrestling and fighting every day
Yeah.
with myself.
Yeah, true.
So.
Yeah, it's annoying when you opt to buy nice stuff, and then
it
like,
doesn't
it
work.
just crashes.
Gotta buy old stuff.
Yeah.
Old, sturdy shit.
Shit, mechanical shit.
Yeah.
You gotta fucking crank that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that guy from Nope. You ever watch that movie with the
Yeah,
alien?
yeah.
Yeah,
That
where he's
shit.
like literally cranking his camera
Yeah,
because it
dude.
won't turn off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a good movie.
Don't know why that guy decided to kill himself. That was weird.
Wait.
Remember? He was gonna get the perfect shot of the alien.
Do you mean the dude, the rancher guy?
The old guy who was the Hollywood filmer who gets the perfect shot of everything.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, last second, he's like, sorry, guys, like, you're out of luck. And he just, like, goes and gets eaten by this alien with
He was
the
like,
camera.
fuck this shit. This is too crazy.
I was thinking, like, maybe he was going to, like, drop something out of it. Like, oh, I got the perfect shot. Everyone gets to see it. But no, the perfect shot is gone.
Yep.
Didn't
Well,
make
they got the
sense.
shot at the very end, right?
I think.
Remember they got it at the very end. They were doing that.
The ranchers did, right?
Yeah.
The ranchers did.
And because they took it from that well. Remember that well picture thing?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The guy from Get Out and Us.
Yep.
I like that guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's a good actor. He's like the same character in every movie. Like
His
blank
personality.
face. Yeah, like totally uninterested. But I like him. Get Out
He is
was
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, that was a good
That was the
fucking
best
movie.
of the movies.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
was
that
really
one,
good.
dude. Like when the plot twist happened, I was like, oh my god, are you kidding me?
Yeah, because you could tell the whole time it's just sus. Like something's
Yeah.
not right.
Super weird.
And then it's just fucking at the end. It's like, oh yeah, we're harvesting you for.
Dude, whenever
old
he like
white
starts looking
people.
through the photos and it's like her with a bunch of different black dudes,
Mm-hmm.
and his facial expression never changes
Yep.
too the whole time.
Yep.
But I'm like, oh my god, what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh
was
my
crazy
God.
when they went through the photos, and there were like
Dude.
30 people that girl was with.
I'm like yelling at the screen, like, just fucking run out, jump out the window.
I
Right
know,
now, dude.
right?
You're fucked.
I
Like,
know.
you gotta go.
Yeah.
Terrible, but great movie.
Mhm.
Really great movie.
Yeah, that is a good ass movie.
That was good.
Jordan Peele's a fucking beast.
Dude, I like when they make movies like that. Like, if I don't particularly love that all the movies now are like social commentary, but when they make ones that have like really good social or subtle cues of social commentary like that, I like it.
Yeah.
But whenever they just come out and they're like, "This is what we're doing,"
Yeah.
I'm like, God,
Yeah.
dude, another one.
I know,
It's like
right?
everything now.
Yeah.
But sometimes they make ones like even that "Don't Worry, Darling" movie. Did you see that movie?
Wait, what's the?
It's with Harry Styles.
Yes,
and
yes.
Chris Pine. I love Chris Pine as an actor.
Yeah.
I wasn't even gonna watch it because I'd heard that the target of the movie was Jordan Peterson.
Oh,
like
really?
Jordan Peterson, whoever wrote the movie. This girl wrote the movie. I forget her name, and she said like it. You know the leader of like the guys was based off of Jordan Peterson, who she quoted as the king of the incels, which was like the most ignorant comment ever, because I don't know if you ever followed Jordan Peterson. I read both his books and loved it, and it's so crazy to say that, like, you'd have to like literally have never listened to him or read anything from him to say like he's king of the incels.
Yeah.
This is a guy who's he's telling men, you need to be better than what you are. Like, no wonder you're not getting girls. You get your shit together. And I'm just a huge Jordan Peterson fan. So when I saw that, I was like, fuck that movie. Not watching it.
Yeah.
Then I ended up watching it because my mom is like obsessed with watching movies with me. And I was like, fuck, Mom. Okay, well, I guess we're going to have to watch this. And I loved it.
Yeah.
It was an awesome movie.
It is a really good movie.
So I was like, damn, this sucks because they're trying to trash Jordan Peterson. But if you didn't know that, I would have never known.
Dude, she fucked
when
up
you're
saying
watching
that.
it.
Why would she say that?
That was so stupid.
It was so weird too, because this is not even accurate. Really,
not at all.
Like, it was so like, how is he? I guess at the end when you figure out the plot twist and you realize that he did that selfishly.
Yeah.
You know, because he didn't want to. I forget why exactly. But
it was like the system, right, where
like a simulation.
They were getting like dudes who were like deadbeat losers. Like Harry Styles was like a deadbeat loser, and he like basically like what he sedated his girlfriend who was about to leave him.
Yep.
And now they were in this program.
Yep.
Because when you're, for me at least, whenever I was watching the first half of the movie, I was like, this looks really nice. Like, this looks like a utopia. You know what I mean? I understand like some people don't like that. I like the old fashioned, like I like the 1950s and shit.
I know, right?
It looks kind of like cozy, you know, like I don't mind being the guy who has to work all day and come home. Like, it's kind of nice, like the old values. But then obviously the twist was fun. That was cool. And I see what they're trying to say, but it has nothing to do with like Jordan Peterson, and it turns off people like me. Luckily, I watched it anyways because I thought it was a great movie. But
yeah, that's so weird. Why the fuck would she say that?
What's happening with Jordan Peterson with him trying to like revoke his psychology license or whatever?
Oh, dude, I forget. I don't know. I mean, he tweets some funny shit. Like I know he tweeted something where it was like a super obese girl was like the cover of like Beauty magazine or something, and he commented like, "Not beautiful." I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
He literally, not beautiful. But he's going at it like he's on the front lines in there on Twitter.
He really is.
Yeah. I don't know that I remember listening to why they're trying to revoke his license, and it's almost like it's kind of scary because it's like, oh man, okay, so if you just do anything that they don't agree with, take your license, your livelihood. Yeah. You know, he has an opinion. You know, he originally got famous. Have you guys followed him like closely?
No, not closely, but yeah.
He originally got famous in Canada for opposing this thing called Bill C-16, which is where they were going to make it a legal matter on how you address people like pronoun wise. So if I accidentally called Cooper a she, even though he identifies as he is a man,
well,
you are. I would be legally in trouble. Like, it would be a criminal offense.
We've talked about this.
Which is like that's the antithesis of like taking away freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Now you're legally liable if you. Which how do you even know nowadays? So he opposed it, and that's what kind of got him to where he is today.
That's so wild to think that you can oppose something as fucking psychotic as that.
Yeah, it's
and
common
then people
sense.
are like,
dude, it's like it's opposing
crazy.
common sense, like saying, fucking you need air to breathe. Well, maybe not, you know, and if you say that, you might go to jail. Like, it's crazy. Are you kidding me?
it'd be like if you came up and you were like, hey, before you address me as Cody Law, you have to call me King Cody Law.
Okay, we're good. What I'm saying, like, you can't affirm everything kids say.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Good job. That was like literally where we stopped.
Yeah.
I think.
Because the kids think, you know, like he was saying that kids think that the Tooth Fairy's real. They think that Santa Claus is real. You know, and you have to correct kids. You know?
Dude, there was even a scene in that documentary where there was a person who says that they are a wolf, and
What's
that
it,
they
like the wolf theorem?
the wolfies or whatever.
Yeah.
And he asked the person because it said, "Oh, can you speak to wolves?" He said, "Yeah, I can speak to wolves." So, "Okay, can you speak wolf right now?" I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, what kind of game are we playing here?
Right.
You know, 20 years ago, they would be like, you'd be like put away or some shit if you said you were a wolf.
Yeah.
Come on, you're not a wolf. You're a person. We can see it.
Yeah, it's just like, it's the weirdest shit because you don't like you don't know if like universities or like teachers in schools are gonna like affirm them, you know, and be like.
Apparently they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the things that you don't. I don't know. Like they say that colleges are so woke and all of that. But
That's what I hear.
Like, who do you care? Like who cares if they are? Because it's just a college. But then those people going out in the workplace and stuff like that. You know?
Well, you know what's funny is, it's kind of like this. Like whenever people get really upset about shootings, right? But at the same time, like people will be like, if we complain about this kind of stuff, people are like, well, why do you care? It doesn't affect you. It's like, all right, well, then why do you care? If like a school gets shot up, your kid didn't die, it doesn't affect you. It's kind of the same thing, you know what I mean? Like you care because it could affect you. It could. Like you care about school shootings because it could be your kid. Mm-hmm. You care about these issues because it could be your kid in school being taught like, hey, you might be a girl even though you're definitely a boy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like when you're 10 years old, God, your imagination is crazy. Mm-hmm. I will kill somebody if they try to do it to my kid. Mm-hmm. Or like this was the thing that I got really kind of interested in. I remember when all this started, like a long time ago, really. And it was just like gay marriage. Like that's what they were fighting for. And I was like, dude, who cares if they get married? Why do you guys give a shit? I don't care. I don't care if you want to be gay, if you want to get married, who fucking cares? Even when people started being transgender, I was like, oh, who cares? Whatever. You know what I mean? But it's whenever they started being like, yeah, guys saying they're girls and going into girls' locker rooms or going into like, you know what I mean, bathrooms. Your little girl might be in there. The, you know, changing in front of girls whenever you have a dick. Mm-hmm. What happened to like the feminist movement of like protecting women? Now it's like, oh no, free for all. Mm-hmm. You know, guys can go in and pull their balls out in front of a girl. Yeah, that's fucking sexual assault. I thought. Mm. Now it's not. It's like that's where I feel like they've crossed the line. Yeah, you know.
That's what we were just talking about that last week because everyone's mad about the Bud Light thing, and I was like, dude. Are you really mad that just like a trans girl is just like dancing and doing shit for Bud Light? Like, okay, some people might not like that. Whatever. That's not woke. Like what being woke is what you're talking about, where you're saying like you're talking to a first grader or a kindergarten kid and you're like, this is what being transgender is and like kind of I don't know how you would even
They have sex education about it.
Yeah, like I didn't learn about any fucking thing at all in biology or any gender or whatever until I was in like 6th grade, and then we had like 50 boys went into a room. Yeah, and the health, whatever the hell they were called, the health.
Yeah, health teacher.
Yeah, the health teacher would just come up to me and be like, "This is puberty and here's a video," and they turn on a video, and then we just all watch like a fucking dude getting a boner, and we're like, "Whoa, like holy shit!" And then they give you deodorant, and then you go fucking about your life.
Yeah, they did give you deodorant.
Yeah,
that's right.
They're like, "Don't, you're gonna stink."
Yeah, they gave you deodorant.
Yeah, like those little like takeaway ones.
I remember that. That's fucking hilarious. I forgot about that.
Nowadays, you're learning about fucking shit in like 1st grade. It's like,
they're telling you like, hey, they're literally giving you like sex acts books and stuff. Yeah, dude, I think the Bud Light thing is this fucking person who like I saw videos of this guy before he said he was a girl, which still looks like a guy to me. Like he still has facial hair and shit. It's just stubble. Yeah, but he was the same character. He's a character. He's it's almost like if you didn't know any better, it's a parody. Like he's doing an exaggerated skit of a very very like flamboyant girl. Because nobody acts like that. Girls don't act like that. Yeah. It's crazy. True. So it's like, I feel like he's just like, he's rigging the system. But what I don't like is, well, the Bud Light thing is whatever. I think that's stupid too, because there's people who like fought for America and stuff, who like lost their legs. But we're celebrating somebody who just decided to say they were a girl. But they're also, this person, Dylan, is like sponsored by like Tampax, I think, and women's Nike. It's like, there's real girls out there who deserve that. But this is just some person who's just like fucking saying there's a girl. Yeah. I don't even know if he probably still has a dick and balls. Like I know the Leah Thomas person has a dick and balls still. That's fucking crazy. Actually? Yeah. Yes. The Riley Gaines said it in her speech that he was changing in the locker room with a dick and balls. And 6'4" male swimming, beating them.
That's so fucking nuts.
Bullshit, man. And we're talking about like the same people who were like for feminism, for women's rights are now for this. You can't be for both. Yeah. Right? Because like women are getting shit on so hard right now. Right. By this.
right?
It's only
Hearing
getting
Riley
worse.
Gaines say that little speech that she has.
Yeah,
where
did you
she's
watch
like,
that?
I only saw a little clip on like YouTube, like shorts or something, and she was just like, I wanted to be a swimmer when I was like 8 years old or 4 years old or whatever the hell she said.
Yeah.
And she's like, I swam for like 12 years straight.
Yeah.
And all I wanted was to win.
Yeah.
And I was about to win. And out of nowhere, I hear someone is breaking records. And then I can't win anymore. And then the trophy, how they split, how they that happened? They tied or something.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
And Leah Thomas got the trophy because
Because
they said like, oh, she
progressive.
yeah, just
right?
something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know where they both won, but
Yeah.
Leah got the trophy and Riley didn't, and it's like because
Yeah.
she's trans or whatever. But
Crazy
yeah,
part is too is Leah was beating like Olympians, like girls that are Olympians
Yeah.
and world team members, and he was 400th in the men's division.
363.
So like how much
yeah,
evidence do you really
It's
need
just
that,
not fair.
that it's like different
Yeah.
physiologically, with the,
Yeah.
especially with
We
the
know,
sports.
and it has nothing to do with equality. Like I think this whole idea of equality, like men and women are equal. Well, sure, in terms of like their rights, but in terms of our bodies, like we're not equal. We're different. That's why there's a distinction in the first place, right? Like women can do things men can't do, and men can do things women can't do, right? Like we can't give birth. That's
Yeah.
fucking harder than doing athletics, in my opinion. Like that's
Yeah.
the scariest thing ever.
oh yeah,
Every day when I think about that, I'm like, oh, thank God I'm
Kid
the
just
guy.
baking in your
Thank
stomach.
God I don't have to give birth someday. That's terrifying, dude. You get ripped apart to give birth
No,
to a
literally,
baby.
yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. But this whole thing, like, oh no, we're the same. We're the same. It's bullshit. We're not.
Yeah.
And girls are getting shit on right now.
Yeah.
The fact that some schools are scared to talk about biology is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
it's literally just straight up. That's just
Yeah.
literal scientific fact biology.
Not anymore. Now it's opinion.
Yeah.
Now it's your feelings.
Yeah.
It makes me like think like, dude, do I have to put my kids in a private school someday? Like, I don't want that. I don't want my kids learning about that kind of crazy stuff.
Dude, the scariest thing for me is the fact that there's so many smart people that are totally unwilling to even talk. Like,
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with what, honestly, any fucking direction that the world wants to go in,
Yeah.
I'll fucking talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
even if it's probably not what I want, like,
Yeah.
I'll talk about it. Like, I don't know everything. Like, we don't fucking know everything. We only know, like, you know a fuck ton about fighting.
Yeah.
I know a lot about the stock market. Cooper knows shit about wrestling. It's like, we have our own little specialties.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know anything about transgender people.
Yeah.
I don't even know a transgender person. Like, I don't even know one person. I know gay people,
Me either, yeah.
but like, I don't have the authority to like make decisions of trans
Yeah.
people. Like, and I'll talk about that.
But
Like,
you're allowed to have an opinion.
yeah, like
you're
I
allowed
wanna,
to have an opinion.
and I want to talk about my opinion and why I came to that conclusion. And I want to hear why you came to your conclusion, and we can like come to some kind of common ground. But like,
Yeah.
smart people nowadays, like you see smarter people that used to do that. Now they don't even want to have the discussion. They're just like,
Yeah.
this is a fact and you're hurting people's feelings. And that's like, that shouldn't be part of the fucking discussion. Like
Yeah.
everyone's feelings are going to get fucking hurt all the fucking time.
Dude, that's life.
Yeah.
Things are worse than hurt feelings.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's such a good sign of you being wrong if you're just like, I can't hear everybody else, you can't even talk about.
Yeah.
Because if it's not what I believe, you're wrong, I don't want to hear it. Probably means that you're wrong.
Yeah. That's such a fragile perspective.
Yeah.
Like you're just like a fucking piece of glass, like scared to
Dude,
break. And it's like,
100%.
dude,
Yeah.
I have
Relax.
opinions and beliefs, but like I like to talk about them. And if you can, I've had beliefs. I'd like to think of some off the top of my head, but I've had beliefs that I was like pretty firm in, and I had some conversations and like heard some different arguments and changed my mind.
Literally,
I was like,
yeah.
oh, dude, you know what? That makes more sense than what I was thinking.
Right.
You gotta be willing to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
You're probably not gonna change my mind on this thing, like on guys dressing up as girls and going into girls' locker rooms. Like I'm gonna,
yeah.
but maybe I'm willing to talk about it.
Like, would you think that having a whole separate locker room or a whole separate area for bathrooms? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a better idea.
Yeah.
It's same with the sports. Like if we're gonna keep going this direction, just make a whole new league.
Yeah.
Make it for transgender people. If
Yeah.
there's 5 people in the league, whatever, 1 through 5.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But like, I think the funny thing is, I was thinking about this. You don't really see a lot of girls dressing up as guys or saying, "I'm a girl, I want to compete against men." It's a lot of men. Part of me feels like it's like some weird fetish shit. You know what I mean? Like, cause I'm seeing like now, you know, Twitter is like they figure out what you look at. So now I'm getting like lots of tweets of like older men dressing up as little girls, like schoolgirls. I'm like, dude, this is like some fetish shit.
Yeah.
This is not. You don't actually think you're a 14-year-old girl. You're rigging the system.
That kind of shit sounds like a fetish. Definitely. I think that some of the sports stuff is totally like driven back to ego too, where it's like,
Yeah, you want to win.
dude, I want to fucking win. And I can literally do that tomorrow if I want to.
Dude, that's such a weak mentality though, because like, would you any three of us, like, would any of us really compete against girls and be like, yeah, I won? No way. You feel like a piece of shit.
Dunk on them.
No way.
I'm just kidding.
All right, so we know Cooper might. We gotta keep Cooper out of this conversation. He might be a little.
Dub's a dub.
Okay, you're fucking driven, man. No, it's weird as shit to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy, and you can't talk about it. I talk about it every day, though. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If you don't let other people challenge your beliefs, then you probably think you're wrong.
Yeah, I also think like getting canceled is only if you like if you believe you can't get canceled, right? Like how many dude, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle, they wanted to cancel him, but he's just, I'm not getting canceled.
Yeah.
Like if you don't give a shit, you can't get canceled. Dave
Yep.
Chappelle doesn't give a shit, and his jokes are funny.
Yeah.
Like, come on, he's a comedian.
And if you're a trans person and you think that like a joke about being trans is not funny, like you
Don't
gotta
watch it.
like, or don't watch it, or like learn how to fucking have some fucking humility and like accept it. Like everyone's fragile, bro. Like we can make fun of each other too. Like, you know, I'm not gonna fucking cry. You know,
there's things that you can make fun of me for that would be like, that's pretty funny. You know, my brothers do it all the time. You know, it's you gotta, dude. That's the thing about comedy. It's like nobody's exempt.
Yeah, seriously.
You know?
That's the funniest thing when comedians, they try to cancel comedians. It's
You
like
can't.
that's their job, is to find a way to make things funny.
You're supposed to say bad things, man.
Yeah.
They're
Bad
literally
things.
exploiting like the fact of that humans are doing the shit that we're doing, and they're like, "That's
Dude.
fucking weird."
Yeah.
You know.
You know what? The good thing about all this woke cancel culture shit, though, is like when I do hear a good comedian who says whatever he wants, it's even funnier because I know he shouldn't be saying it. I'm like, oh my god, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like
That's
whoever
actually
opened
true,
for
yeah.
you guys were at Rogan,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Who opened for Rogan?
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Tony
yeah.
Hinchcliffe was the funniest guy of the night for me.
Yeah,
Because
bro.
he was saying shit that I was like, I can't believe he's fucking saying
know,
this.
right?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for like today's social climate, it maybe wouldn't have been as funny.
Yeah.
But I laugh so fucking hard.
That's
Dude,
true.
that's better
yeah.
for them. The social climate.
Yeah.
It's better
If
for
you don't
them.
give a shit.
Yeah.
But some people like they care, so they won't do it, you know.
Right.
Dude, it's funny because Tony sounds so gay too.
I know,
Like,
dude. He does.
When you watch his like YouTube videos, it'd be like, "That's like
Yeah.
that
He's
is
not
wild.
gay?
Love it."
No, he's not gay.
I don't
He's not
know.
gay?
Honestly, he might be
He's not
gay.
He's
But
not gay. He has a girlfriend.
He sounds gay, but it's even funnier.
yeah,
You
dude.
know?
His
He goes
YouTube-
along with it, though.
Dude,
Goes
you know
along
who
with
you know
the
who I
gay
love,
jokes.
who's fucking hilarious? Tim Dillon. He's a gay dude. He is one of my favorite people ever of
Yeah.
all time. One of my favorite podcasts ever was Alex Jones, Tim Dillon, Joe Rogan. Bro, I listened to the whole
is
3.5
legendary.
hours.
That shit is
Tim
legendary.
Dillon is so funny. The shit he tweets, the shit he says.
He's so good at ranting.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's so good at that.
Yeah, dude, you never know he's gay. Like, I
I
would
know,
never
right?
have known he's gay because he doesn't ever like insert it.
I
Or
know, right?
He makes jokes. Like, dude, he's like, I feel like one of the most wholesome people ever.
Genuinely,
like, I could
yeah.
be such good friends with that guy.
Yeah.
because he just seems like, dude, he doesn't
Right.
give a shit.
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
nothing's off limits. Everything's funny. I want to get to know that guy someday.
Yeah.
He's fucking.
All
That'd
those
be so
comedians,
cool,
dude,
yeah.
They
Yeah.
all seem like the best hang.
Rogan seems really cool. Tim Dillon seems awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who else right off the top of my head.
Dude,
but
Theo Vaughn would be a fun friend.
Theo
yeah.
Vaughn has been my new guy.
Yeah, dude.
I have been watching so many of like the try not to laugh videos of Theo Vaughn. Theo
says the most
Vaughn
random
and
things.
Caleb Presley from the Sunday Conversations.
Yep,
Dude,
he's
I
funny.
laugh so hard at
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
Dude, true or false? Makes me laugh so hard every time.
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn's really funny, man.
Yeah, he's so witty. Like he
Yeah.
says like he has this quick like one-liners, and you're just like it'll be two sentences
Yeah.
later, and you're like, wait, what the fuck did you just say, bro? Did you see the video
Yeah.
of him talking to Drewski? Did you ever hear him?
I don't know. Maybe
Dude, it's just so
know
funny.
you're talking
Drewski was like, yeah, dude. When I was younger, I tried to like hang out with Michael Jackson one time. Like I went to his concert and I tried to get like a meet and greet, but I never got to meet him. I was only 10 years old, and Theo was like, "That would have been the time to meet him, huh?" And then Drewski just like kept talking, and it like went right over his head, and I was just like, "Dude, it's so fucking funny."
He does do some like good inserts.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny.
Dude, he had that Sunday Conversations guy Caleb Presley on his podcast.
Oh, really?
And I was
didn't even
watching
know
it,
that.
and just like some of the shit they were saying, I was almost like, "Oh my god, dude, I can't believe they're saying this." They're just saying like fucked up shit to where you're like, they just don't care.
I know.
You know, which I love to see that. It's just so refreshing now.
Mhm.
You can never tell someone like Theo Vaughn if he's being serious or trying to tell a joke.
Yeah,
too.
because he's always
on.
dude. He's always like, yeah, I remember this one time, and I knew this guy in school, and I'm like, dude, that actually happened or
Yeah.
not?
He has so
You
many
know?
of those. Like, there's
So
no
many,
way.
bro.
Every
The
single
craziest
story.
life. He must live the craziest life
Every
ever.
story is like
Yeah.
him getting paid $20 bills looking to dudes' buttholes.
Yeah.
I'm like, did that actually happen, man?
Yeah,
It's
right.
like, yeah, me and my friends, we were like all lonely, and like we were just beating off to like my one friend who's fucking this girl in the room, and he's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he just like keeps going to, and you're
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Isn't
It's very
Poirier
funny.
like buddies with him?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Really? That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, dude, I actually met Brian Callen.
Really?
He just was in the gym one day. I was training with Dustin and like a couple other guys. It was like 1 p.m., so like it was kind of off hours. And all of a sudden, Brian Callen just comes walking up, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, of course, I had to play it cool, you know what I mean? Like, oh, hey, how's it going? But in my head, I'm like, dude, you're on How I Met Your Mother. Like, you're fucking hilarious. I love Brian Callen.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like my world now. I hope I get to
cool.
meet more of these guys.
Yeah, seriously.
He's hilarious. Theo Vaughn would be the guy, though.
Yeah.
He's fucking funny.
That's dope. You just like,
I like
were
that
in the
guy.
gym and he just walked in.
He just came in, and I left, and I guess he ended up like filming some shit where he was like getting beat up by Dustin.
I saw that.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah.
actually saw that video.
That was there like right before that, and I
That's
left.
sweet.
'Cause I didn't want
That's
to be
funny.
weird and like hang out and be like, oh, dude, like I'm a fan, you know. It's weird. So I just want to be like, yeah, cool. It's very nice to meet you. I'm gonna tell everybody I met you.
Yeah.
But, you know.
That's funny.
It's cool probably being in a gym that big with that many famous people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not like super rare for even Brian Callen to walk in. You know,
Yeah.
Poirier, Masvidal, they probably have connections with all those guys.
Yeah.
You know? They probably
Yeah.
want to go in and meet them, and in their world, they probably want to go like see the fighters too. You know.
Yeah, I
Like,
guess so.
Eric Trump came in.
I think
Gave
it
a
was.
speech.
I think it was Donald Trump Jr.
Donald Trump.
Yep.
I met him in 2020. He gave like a speech. He had a rally, and it was super cool. Honestly, it was a cool time, and he was a nice guy. And then I posted a picture of him, and like, so many people were like, "How dare you!" Like, he's this one person. I'm not getting into it, but it was funny because I was like, "Oh shit, man." I just posted a picture with a guy. Like, I met the president's son. Like, in any other time in like history, if you met the president or the president's like family, it would be like just universal. Like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know. But now it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he's a nice guy. He was at our gym. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Throw paint at him?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, either way, Republican or Democrat, it's sweet to meet someone like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
The only person I like wouldn't like show up to is like Hillary Clinton. That was in like a, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're like killing people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're having people killed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's pretty known now.
But like old presidents, like, dude, I hope Robert Kennedy gets the Democratic nomination. This would be like a year where I could be like, dude, I would like for either one to win.
Mhm.
You know, I think that guy is. I don't know if you listen to him at all.
No.
He was on Aubrey Marcus's podcast. Do you know Aubrey Marcus? You
Yep,
ever listen
yep,
to that?
Yep.
I just
listen to
listened.
him?
He's a dude with,
Yeah, I
he
like
made
him.
On It with Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like listening to him with Aaron Rodgers when Aaron Rodgers goes on.
Yeah.
But he had Robert Kennedy Jr. on, and it was pretty cool. I liked listening to him because he was kind of basically saying everything I think everyday people think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of like conspiracy cover-up stuff. Like government lies to you. I think he would be a good.
That's
I don't-
cool.
I don't know if they'll let him, but
Probably get fucking assassinated.
dude, I hope not.
That would suck.
I hope not, because he's saying a lot of crazy shit.
How many weren't two Kennedys assassinated? It was,
Their whole family just gets fucked by
JFK
something.
was-
JFK and his brother.
Yeah.
Was his brother killed too?
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Dude,
everyone
Plane
else
crash-
got
both in a plane
fucking.
crash.
JFK
No,
was
no.
shot.
JFK was
yeah,
shot.
his brother was in a plane crash.
But
yeah.
then another family member was killed.
Dude, all their family members are like.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I
his
forget
sister
how
or
many
something.
people,
But
but,
dude,
it's
if-
like
if-
6 or 7 people died in his family, like from weird circumstances.
If that makes me feel like, okay, he was a good president. Like if they kill you, I think like, oh, you were doing something right.
Dude, the FBI
know?
fucking kills people all the time.
Yeah, man.
They're fucking.
Come
I mean,
on.
obviously, who knows? I mean, that was just a random thought, but like they
No,
killed
it's-
like Charles Manson, like the shit they did in the FBI with him. And
Yeah, wasn't it like LSD experiments and stuff? Dude, there's so much shit we'll
Yeah.
never know.
Dude, they would like put fucking crack in like black neighborhoods and shit, and like the 40s and 50s and
that's another funny thing. I was like listening to someone talk about this, I think on Rogan's podcast, and I was like, dude, yeah, that really makes sense. Like it was kind of like this idea of, okay, we're donating, I don't know how much, hundreds of millions or billions of dollars to Ukraine. What about fixing like the destroyed neighborhoods of America, which is predominantly like the ghettos and like the black communities that are like Chicago right now. Like,
why are they giving that much money to Ukraine? Like,
I don't know. Well, I think
like,
the conspiracy is that they're funneling the money right back to the Democratic Party. Like it's like a big conspiracy. You know what I mean? Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
What I've heard is that they kind of want to show like a force against Putin. Like they don't want Putin to take over another country.
Dude,
they kind of want to show like if we're going to be an ally to this country, we could win.
It's hard to believe anything that you actually hear on the news. Like whatever news station it is, like conservative or Democratic or whatever, it's almost always going to be bullshit.
Yep.
You know, like when Rogan took ivermectin, and they literally tried to say like, oh, this guy's taking veterinary medicine. Come on, dude. They blatantly lied.
Yeah.
So now you know.
Like,
that's the easiest
Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
It's literally the easiest fucking thing to fact check too. Like,
yeah.
You know for a fact they absolutely 100% knew they were lying, and they still did it no matter what.
So now we know.
Yeah.
They'll lie.
Yeah.
They'll lie about fucking ivermectin. Lie about some more serious shit, no doubt.
Dude, that was such a bad play on their part too. Like they made it way too obvious.
Dude, they even edited the video and stuff so that he looked like sickly.
Yeah, they made him look yellow and shit. Yeah.
Dude, how dumb, because you know Rogan gets probably close to, if not as big a reach as them.
Oh yeah.
All he has to do is come out and go, yeah, that's not true.
Yeah.
And boom, you guys look like idiots.
Dude, he was fucking fine in 2 days.
Yeah, come on. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
So I literally don't know what to believe. But I do think like, okay, we're donating all this money to other countries, but yeah, the same people who are doing that are saying like racism, oppression, blah 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 blah. Well, let's fix it then. Why don't we fix it?
I know, right?
You know what I mean? We have all this money.
Yep.
Why don't we fix it? That'd be great. That'd be great if we could fix like all those bad communities and make them better. It would bring everybody up. But instead, we're just like, they probably want that. They probably want low class citizens.
I mean, honestly, I feel like every decision I hear at all in the government now is always related to whatever the next election is.
Yeah.
Because it's always just like, how do we get our candidate to look the best for the next election? And if that means sending money to Ukraine, that's what we'll do.
Dude, can you imagine though, like if a candidate said like, hey, we're gonna take all or the majority of the money and fix like the bad neighborhoods? How many? I think you'd think they would get so many votes. Like, and everybody would be like,
but like for some reason the fucking Democrats and Republicans don't want them there.
You would get an entire race to vote for you because you'd be like, yeah, finally, for the first time ever, we're fixing like bad communities.
Well, there's people like that, like Tulsi Gabbard, that talks like that. But then
it gets washed out.
The DNC will specifically put someone like Biden in there, or they won't. They won't let someone like her or like Bernie Sanders that talks about these kind of things to like solve problems in America.
Yeah.
Because they don't think they're gonna win. They want to put like Joe Biden in there because like, Joe Biden might be a sure steal because he's obviously been in Congress for 40 years.
Blows my mind though, because the dude can barely talk now. Like,
I mean, that's
so crazy.
Strategy.
I didn't think he was gonna make it through the whole,
He's gonna run
4
again?
years. Yeah, there's no way he's gonna make it through.
Dude, if it's
4
him
years.
versus Trump, that's like a toss up. Him versus DeSantis, I don't think that's a toss up. I think him versus Trump.
I'd
is like,
so much rather be like Trump or DeSantis versus Robert Kennedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some good change. I think I would.
You'd rather have Robert Kennedy?
I'd rather have Robert Kennedy versus either Trump or DeSantis, because like either outcome I'd be okay with. Like I would be like, there'll be like the first time in my adult life where I was like, oh yeah, whoever wins, like great, like fine with me. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people vote personality instead of policy. You know what I mean? Like that was the huge example with Trump. Like everyone's like, oh, fucking hate him. I'm like, yeah, but you hate his personality, but what about like the policy? What are they gonna do for the communities? You know?
Yeah.
It's so hard because like the media paints a huge picture. The media has us convinced that like white people hate black people and black people hate white people, and I don't think it's the case. I really don't, dude. I have so many good interactions. Like I don't have any bad. I almost have no bad interactions in general with humans.
Yeah.
But all you see online is like fucking black versus white stuff. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you think about it though, let's say you have 10 people in front of you.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you gonna record if they're all talking and everyone's just normal, like you
Yeah.
got us three, we're all normal fucking dudes.
Yeah.
And there's one dude that's cracked the fuck out over in the corner, and
Yeah.
you're a news outlet. You're trying to get people to watch your shit. Who
Yeah.
are you gonna record? Not us.
sure.
Not
Way
us
more
saying just
entertaining.
common
Yeah.
sense shit. Nobody
Yeah.
would fucking watch that. You turn off immediately because you're like, okay, I think the same things you probably think is the same thing as him. I wouldn't even listen to what you guys would say because I know what you're gonna say. I think the same thing.
Yeah.
I want to listen to some fucking crazy dude say some crazy shit, and then they say this is everyone.
If it's the
This dude
narrative.
is everyone. Everyone
Yeah.
is this fucking guy, and then
Yeah.
they make you think that like everyone's fucking crazy.
They make you think that black people hate white people and white people hate black people, and I don't think it's the case. Of course, there's bad white people, there's bad black people, there's people who don't like gay people, people who hate women. That's human nature.
Yeah.
But this whole idea that like there's just a fucking line down the middle is crazy. Because I've talked to other people like in Florida from the gym. I talked to a Brazilian guy. I remember one time we were watching like something together. And it was like about racism or something, and I was like, he was a black dude from Brazil, and I was like, is there like racism like this in Brazil? I was like, no, this is crazy. Like none of this happens over there. I'm like, man, so what is it? I feel like it's mostly the media these days. Back in the day, sure, for sure.
Yeah.
But now, dude, I think everybody just wants to fucking get along.
I think it's really
You know?
I think the nice part too, though, is that the media is kind of dying. Like the whole idea
Yeah.
of having a studio and producers and people
Yeah.
in the back telling you like what to say. Even shows like Jimmy Kimmel and like Conan, all those late
Yeah.
night shows, they're kind of dying out. Like people would rather listen to Joe Rogan or
Yeah.
any kind of podcast. You know, I don't really know
Yeah.
any popular podcast, but
I hope it continues to be like that. I hope over the next 10 years it's like,
it definitely will be.
definitely.
dude, I think we'll see like our country, like, the people come together so much more. The less media, the more we'll come together and stop thinking that we hate each other when we really don't. You know, it's fucking crazy. Even Democrat versus Republican, dude. I don't think it was like that back in the day so much. And then it was like the 2016 Clinton versus Trump election where all of a sudden everybody was just like throwing bricks at each other. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude,
You
I was
know?
just gonna say, like, even when Trump got elected, like, I hated Trump.
Yeah.
I was dating a black girl at the time, and she hated him, and
Yeah.
I would see the stuff that she would say, like, that she's affected by him, which was totally true.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the stuff that she would talk about, I was like, I'm not black. I don't know
Yeah.
what it's like to be oppressed or whatever. And she would say all these things, and I'm like, wow, it's crazy. And like, I believed in that, and I hated Trump for sure for like his whole presidency.
Yeah.
But now after the fact, seeing Biden in there,
Yeah.
and seeing like I just watched a couple videos of Trump just like talking to like the Nelk boys and just
Yeah.
like stupid shit like that, and I'm like, this dude is just a fucking old white guy.
Yeah.
Like he's just like my
Uncut.
pap. He's like my pap. Like
Yeah.
my fucking pap is a dipshit. Sometimes he'll say like really dumb things just because he's an old guy.
Yeah.
And he's not fucking racist though. Like he might say things that are racist, but he doesn't actually think that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he'll say
Yeah.
just dumb shit, but
Everybody, dude.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, we're running a risk right now taking a long form conversation. We're gonna say something stupid at some point.
no, seriously.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Everyone's like that. But whenever you see like, okay, everybody who hated Trump, sure. Then whenever you see Biden, you see like our country kind of going downhill.
Yeah.
Like inflation, housing, like all these problems, and you go, well, shit. Maybe I just didn't like him as a person, but maybe the country was run better.
Yep.
You know
For
what I
sure.
mean?
No,
I
I
always
totally
the
agree
reason
with
why I got into Trump, because I was not very political, and then the reason I kind of became political and was like supporting Trump was whenever I noticed that all the people in Hollywood were super against him, like trying to like destroy him, and I went like, okay, all these fucking like people are against him. It did the opposite for me, and I thought maybe he's doing something right.
Yeah.
It wasn't everyday people who were against him. It was like the celebrity, like the elite. It
The
made me
dudes
think,
with loud
oh.
voices.
Yeah, it made me think, okay, maybe that he's doing something that they don't like.
It's all virtue signaling. They just want to be like, hey, I'm
We're a good
I'm
person.
for you,
I'm a
so
good
fuck
person.
him, you know?
Yeah,
And it's like
sitting on my $500 million while you are making $30K a year, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe like even him, by him being one of the only presidents to like call out China. You know,
Dude, that's some of the
call out our
funniest
dependence
videos
on
ever.
China, and
Yeah.
maybe like that has a correlation to
Yeah.
the people in Hollywood hating him. We
Yeah.
need China. Like they need China.
They need
Most of their
China.
box office comes from China.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, 100%.
You know, we've talked about this before, but even the video of John Cena apologizing in Mandarin.
That's crazy.
Because he recognize Taiwan as its own country.
Yeah.
And you can't do that, obviously, in China.
Which is
one,
so
bro.
fucking
It's
crazy.
one China.
That's
It's not Taiwan, a separate country.
Don't know anything about it.
And because you can't do that because he's coming out with Fast and Furious 7. And if you that's where most of their sales are coming from, is China.
That's what I mean. It's like fucking...
Yeah, so they kind of have to like be on the right side. And also, I think part of it is what he's saying too, is like, look how good we are. You know, the people that are seemingly like the nice people, the good people, the non-MAGA, are the people that are against Trump. So it's like, look at us. We're for Black Lives Matter. We're for equality. You know,
they're not. They're usually the piece of shit. Right. And then like some of the best people I know say like fucked up things, and they don't pull any punches. But like if you needed them, like they would give you like all the money they had or something.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The funniest video, Trump had, whether you love him or you hate him, some of the funniest moments ever. Especially when you consider like he's the president of the United States. Whenever the COVID thing was going on, there's like a video of like a reporter saying like, it's very racist for you to say like it's from China. He's like, it's not racist at all. It comes from China. Bro, I laugh so hard every time I see it, man. That, and after he said the grab him by the pussy thing, and he came out and he's like, nobody respects women more than I do. Nobody. It's like, it's so fucking funny,
dude. His confidence
because of what he said.
Fucking
he doesn't give a shit, dude. Like no matter where he's at, like to literally have a tape come out of you saying grab him by the pussy, and then to go online and go, nobody respects women more than I do. Like it was so fucking funny. Like I'm not even saying like it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying it's funny.
No, it's literally
like
just
comedy.
hilarious. No, he's genuinely a comedian though.
He's
like,
very funny.
If you look at his shit from before, he does.
Yeah.
He's the same fucking guy. Like he's literally just a funny, famous, rich guy.
Dude, nobody hated him back then until he ran for president. Before that, everyone was like, "Oh, Donald Trump, like cool," you know. Mm-hmm. It's I gotta pee so bad.
Dude, I have to pee too.
It's fucking hilarious. Dude.
Officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. Who's number one with Hispanics? Trump. Yes. Trump. I love the Mexican people in their spirit. But the country of Mexico is killing us. I want to build a wall. I'm going to build a wall. I want to build the wall. We need the wall. And
I don't see how this is shocking.
will pay for the wall. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to kick them out.
And it's really weak to call John McCain a loser because he was a...
I never called him. No, I don't.
That is outrageous. He's an American hero.
I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you. And then I watched this idiot Lindsey Graham on television today, and he calls me a jackass. He's a jackass. The man of the toupee. This is on the front page of the New York Times. I don't wear a toupee.
I can't believe he was in Johnstown Airport and we didn't go.
It's mine, okay?
Dude,
I wasn't there.
Dude, it was crazy.
I still don't think I've ever seen him in person.
Dude, this is the craziest shit ever. Me and Tucker, my cousin, were just walking in the woods.
That's good.
Like smoking weed or something. And we just hear like loud voices, and we were like, dude, that voice sounds like Donald Trump.
Oh my god.
And we were just walking in the woods around here because the airport's literally like 400 yards that way.
Yeah.
And we were just like, that sounds like fucking Trump. And we were like trying to listen. We were like, that is definitely Donald fucking Trump talking right now. And then we went back into the house and we were like, he had a rally, and we tried to drive over to it, and like it was all blocked off already because like they don't let you go in once it starts.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, we're just walking in the woods, and Donald Trump's voice like fucking came out of the fucking sky.
I had
it was
the same
crazy.
experience. I was in my
That's
room.
crazy.
I literally woke up from a nap hearing like his rally. It's the funniest
So
thing.
weird.
I must have been in Florida when this was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I don't know if I would have went. I'm not really like a rally person, but
He's that close.
it'd be cool to like
8-minute
see the
drive.
president in person.
Yeah,
but
right.
Dude, anyone that's famous, I want to see them. I don't give a fuck who they are.
Yeah.
Dude, if Hitler was out here, I'd fucking want to go look at him.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to actually hear what he's saying in person. Be like, dude, are you actually fucking saying this shit right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wasn't Hitler like methed out
I don't know.
most of the time?
Oh yeah, he was.
I don't know.
You saw that video in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Don't even pull this shit up, bro.
won't.
It's not even worth it. He's in the
crazy.
Olympics and he's just going like this. Hitler.
Hitler, really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen too much, dude. He's fascinating. Like the whole Nazi movement in World War II is like always been one of my most interested topics.
Yeah.
How they pulled that off, how that happened. You know, how like a guy convinced a whole nation. Sometimes I'm like, dude, is this really true? Like,
I know,
you really got everybody to be like, yeah, we're gonna kill the Jews. We're gonna put them all in concentration camps and kill them.
And people like would literally do that and watch it happen, and they were fucking like store clerks, and now they're in the fucking military, and they're like pushing the button.
Yeah.
And they don't see it
Power.
as their dude. It's like it is such a fascinating story of power, where it's just like, how does one man do that? It's like,
Do you think it was most people, like most citizens, even the people that weren't in the military, that were like, yeah, those Jews suck?
Well,
Or,
it all
like,
started
it wasn't
from-
even like mostly Jews too. It was like everyone that wasn't them. It was like gay people.
it
was,
started
like,
from propaganda. It started with
black people.
Jewish
Yeah.
people, and and he would post like things in the newspaper every week where it'd be like, you know, this Jewish guy did this bad thing, and this Jewish guy did this bad thing, and this Jewish whatever. And then over time, it formed into, oh, since you're doing this, there's this one experiment, I forget, where you can like get people to do incrementally worse things, but you can't take them from straight up like
The shock
kill the Jews.
therapy thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where it's like they get to the point where the person's like, "Ow!" Like they're screaming because
Yeah.
they're like the shock, and there's a guy behind me. He's like, "No, they're okay. Just go ahead, do the next level." And the guy's
Yeah.
like, okay. And then he like turns the knob, and the guy's like, "Ah!" And then he's like, "Did I hurt that guy?" And the dude's just like, "No, you didn't hurt him." You know? Same thing.
I've seen that and like the Stanford prison experiments
shit's crazy.
where they get power and
They put a badge on a guy. One guy's like
Yeah.
a fake police officer. Everyone else is like a cellmate.
yeah.
And then the police officer over time starts like abusing these people over like 3 days only.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't know, man. We'll never actually know. Like, we'll never have been there, so we'll never really know.
Yeah.
It's crazy how like how many crazy things happen in the world. And meanwhile, we're just like living our life right now.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, right now, there's like the cartel running Mexico.
Dude,
There's the
North Korea.
cartel running them. There's right now, in whatever 2023, like North Korea is happening, where people have to have pictures of Kim Jong-un like at a certain height in their house, or else they're gonna get executed, or else or they have to, if they say the wrong thing about Kim Jong-un, like 4 generations of their family is gonna get executed. Like right now that's happening, and meanwhile, like, you know, I'm stressed out because like I have to find a wrestling partner for tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy to think that like you think of your problems, but then like the things that going on across the world. It's wild to think about.
We live in like the easiest time ever. I think that's why we're having all these weird social issues of men taking their women and stuff, because we have nothing else to worry about.
It's the Jordan Peterson quote. Easy times make easy whatever.
Isn't there like a couple
That's-
studies
you know
of
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I forget what it is.
Yeah,
Easy times
create weak men.
Weak
hard
men.
times create hard men. Hard men create easy
Easy
times.
times.
Easy times create weak men.
Right.
You know, weak men create hard times. It's like this.
And we're in the
this
time
little-
right now where weak men are creating hard times.
Yeah, well, we're getting there. We're getting there because we're in the easiest. We were in the easiest of times, and now we're in like this fucking crazy shit. You know.
We were in the time where hard men, when they went to World War II,
Yeah.
did Vietnam, created
Yeah.
easy times. The late 1900s, you
Yeah.
know, like all that shit.
Dude, the stuff from the early 1900s that men had to do is just so mind fucking boggling.
Even the value system of like everyday men got up and they put on their best suit to go to the grocery store.
Yep.
You know, now we throw on like fucking mix and
Sandals.
match.
Yeah.
Yeah, sandals and joggers or whatever. Back then, like, men had a lot of self-respect, put on their best outfit every day, no matter where they were going. They would work 2 jobs so that their wife could stay home. And nowadays, that's considered like sexist. For whatever reason, to say like, yeah, I want to work. Like, for me, my personal values is like I want so badly someday to have a wife who gets to stay at home. You know what I mean? And take, because I think being a parent, like being a mother, is a freaking harder job than me going and making money.
Yep.
We need both. You know what I mean?
Right.
But now it's like that's sexist.
That is so weird. That
so
is
weird.
Yeah, a lot of people would hear that and they genuinely would. That's the first thing they'd think.
Sexist.
It's like women could do that.
Sure, you can, but
Yeah.
do you want to?
Yeah.
Like, I talked to my girlfriend. She's like, oh, I'd love to stay at home.
Uh-huh.
And if I was a girl, I would love, dude, if somebody told me, like, hey, I'm going to work, you stay home, like, you relax, you have a hard job taking care of the kids, like, that's enough.
Yep.
I'd be
Dude,
like,
the role of
great.
being a mother is
you know?
equally as hard as the role of a man going out and, you know, having to make money. It's probably harder
Yeah,
to be a
probably
mother.
harder.
Because most of the jobs are, like, monotonous. Like, you do a task,
Yeah.
you get the paycheck. Being a
Yeah.
mother, like, it's constantly adapting.
Dude, it's
right?
harder.
It's going to be a constant adaptive kind of thing.
That's hard. That's
Yeah,
harder.
It's going to be a hard thing.
That's harder.
Yeah.
Like, you guys know the Panama Canal? You know what that is?
Yeah.
So like obviously whenever back in like the 1800s and 1900s, I don't know if it was maybe like late 1800s we made the Panama Canal, but we had to go the whole way around South America originally to go from New York to California. So we had to go around the whole tip of the country because there was no way to get through South America because you know how like North America comes down to a point and then there's that little slit. And so they made the Panama Canal. Dude, it's 50 miles of mountains that they cut through to get to sea level.
My God.
Dude, if you see these pictures, it is just fucking crazy that there's just like 10,000 men all with just shovels and they're just digging and for 50 miles through like just rock dirt. It's like that is crazy. And like back then like one man like JP Morgan, you know, JP Morgan, like that's the dude who funded the whole project.
Yeah.
He paid like $150 million for it, which was like 150 billion today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally draw inspiration
Different time.
from those people. I mean, like what you said the other day.
Yeah, like I had to dig a ditch from the house here to the bottom of the hill just to like put a hose in for water for a water line.
Which is like what, half a quarter mile?
It was 200 feet, right? And all I have to do is just shove my fucking thing in there. Every 6 inches it makes a little divot, and I would just shove the thing in there. And I was just like getting tired, and I was like, dude, these guys have fucking dug through 50 fucking miles of the Panama fucking jungle. I can dig a 200 fucking foot ditch down to my pond.
Think about the people that made the railroad. Transcontinental Railroad. Oh my God. We were talking about that when we were in Colorado.
Yeah.
Have you ever been out west?
No, not really.
Dude, you have to go out
really.
west.
I want to. I want to go to Montana really bad.
It's the craziest.
cool,
It's the crazy.
Yeah.
It'll blow your mind. Like you're there and you just don't understand it. You just don't understand. Like you see these mountains and it's such a foreign thing to see. And when we were there and you see these mountains or whatever, like I don't know, 16,000 feet in the air, and you're like, what happened whenever people were going across America and they're just like, oh, we're at these now. We're at these mountains now, like the Rocky Mountains. Yeah, you have to go out there.
I want to, man.
You have to. I think that's you. Yeah. Yeah, it's the wildest thing. Yeah. Because you're there and you just don't. It just doesn't make sense to you just seeing mountains like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even explain it. Like I sent you those videos, you just can't even explain it.
Dude, that's what I love about PA compared to
Yeah.
Florida. Like Florida's flat. When I come back here, and like I wasn't at the track meet in Forest Hills, looking at all the trees, I'm like, man, it's so beautiful here. Or Eisenhower, top of Eisenhower.
Yeah, bro.
Looking out, I'm like, oh my God, man, I could
crazy.
settle down here. And when I was young, I said like, fuck this place. I was influenced. You know, my dad always told me like, this place is terrible. I want to get out of here. So I adopted that belief. And I was like, this is a bad place. I want to leave. Now, at my age now, I'm like, I could live here for the rest of my life and be happy.
Right.
I love it here, man. It's a great place. It really is. The people are nice, wholesome. We have beautiful scenery. Everything you need's within 10 minutes.
Yep.
Fucking Five Guys, Starbucks, Walmart, gas. It's all right there, you know?
Yeah.
If you want to get away, Pittsburgh State College are both the same distance.
Yep.
That's
Like
true.
where you guys live right here, man, it's like you guys are in like Neverland.
No, literally.
You know, there's nobody around.
Yeah.
It's amazing here.
Yeah, it's great. The only thing for me is I just love the aura of the city where it's all walking distance. It's all coffee shop. You can be around people like all the time, which obviously becomes a nuisance at one point.
Yeah.
Obviously you don't want to be around people once you're probably around them for a while, but it is hard kind of sometimes being in the middle of nowhere, where you could do a whole day just sitting right here pretty much and not see one person all day. As opposed to whenever I lived in the city, it's like you have to go outside to go get like a coffee or something, and then you just see tons of people everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's definitely something to that.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but I do kind of feel like as humans we're not made for that.
Yeah,
Like,
probably not.
We're probably made to be in a place like exactly like where you guys live right here.
Yeah.
where you can like walk the land and do that kind of stuff. And
Right.
I don't know. When I was your age, dude, I wanted to live in the city really bad. Like I wanted a penthouse in New York City. That was my dream. I wanted a penthouse in New York City.
Yeah.
And now as I get older, I'm like, shit, dude. Do I want to listen to cars beeping all day, not be able to drive anywhere, swarmed by like people who don't give a shit about me?
Right.
When you come back here, it's like, dude, almost everyone you interact with like cares about you on some level. You know?
Same exact thing happened to me. Like I went to Duquesne, and that's in Pittsburgh. I was there for 1 year. First like 4 months, fucking love it. All I did all day, just skateboard everywhere. Just skateboard throughout the whole city. So cool. Like you could eat shit on a skateboard and like people just walk over you. They don't even give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool because like in Johnstown, you know, you do one thing, the fucking dude you don't even know knows what you did. Like how like you know, you'd like get a DUI obviously or just something stupid like that. Like everyone knows and it's like immediate. Pittsburgh, you fucking kill a guy and they're like, that's crazy. Later. You know, they don't even give a fuck. And it's like, but then I'm there for a year and like there's construction outside of my room for the whole year and it's like loud as fuck at 4 a.m. every day. And then eventually you're just like, okay, these people, they really don't care about anything. Like, cause the same reason I liked why they didn't give a shit when I would eat shit on my skateboard, I'd fall in front of their face and it's like, they don't care. And it's like, they don't care if you do something cool either, you know? So you're just like a piece of fucking paper floating in the wind. Like it doesn't even matter. And then I'm like, I want to come back to Johnstown. But now that I'm here trying to like build a career, I'm like, damn, there's no opportunity here. So that's one thing that I'm like, you know, if I could live in Miami or New York where like financial, you know, that's anything in finance is like a big deal. I think that'd be really cool. But then the second I have that money, I'd be right back here.
Come back.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Like you got to go away to get what you need.
Yeah.
But then come back to where you want to be.
It's like a pilgrimage.
Yeah. I feel that way even with fighting. Like I got to go to Florida to train.
Yep.
But I want to come right back here afterwards.
Yep.
You know.
I wanted to ask you, what's the difference between training in Florida and training here, home, Pittsburgh, pretty much where you're training?
I think the difference is like in Florida, I'm at a big gym, so there's a lot of people, and it's more of like it's a system. You know, every week has to be the same because we have so many guys. So Florida's more for sparring, and I have the best coach there. Mike Brown's the best coach. So working with him, and then back here it's more like individual. You know what I mean? Like if I go to Map Factory, it's like the whole practice is basically for me. Like Isaac will tailor it so that I'm working on my thing, my other coaches too. So it's just like one is like large scale preparation. The other one is like individual specific needs.
So it's pretty much the difference between having great partners and having like great individual attention from coaches.
Yeah, and I need both. You know, I need individual attention too because I'm still developing. Where like when I get better, like I only need to just spar. But right now I'm still growing. Like I just started fighting 5 years ago. Like I still have so much to learn.
Right.
That's crazy. It's only been 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years went fast though. Like I look back and I'm like, damn, really 5 years? I thought it was been like 2 years. You know, it's crazy.
That's pretty much exactly how it is for me. Like I have Pitt, where I have incredible partners. Everyone is super good. Everyone's state champ, state placer, multiple time state champ from other states. But then you don't get that kind of individual attention. For me, you know, maybe because I'm not the highest caliber guy there, so they don't have as much of an incentive to kind of put as much attention into me. You know, because I have a less likely chance as opposed to a guy that's a 3-time state champion to really pan out. So, but when I come to a school like UPJ, I have a lot more. I don't even want to say individual attention because everyone gets individual attention at UPJ. You know, it's a little bit different. Obviously, it's not the same caliber of people that you're wrestling every day. You know, some guys are really good. But compared to Pitt, obviously it's not the same caliber. Obviously, you know this because you went to Penn State and then you went to UPJ. But UPJ, I feel like you get that same, you get really good guys, but then you also get a lot of individual attention too.
Yeah, I mean that's
that's pretty much the story of you.
That's how it goes. I mean that's all places really. I mean everybody, no matter what position you're in, you're gonna have like different needs, and no one place is gonna probably fit all of them. You're probably always gonna need to like get something from this, get something from this. You know, even with people, you know. For the most part, like you gotta get a little bit something from you, a little bit something from you, and you know, make it work. You know.
So with wrestling, like, do you think that having great partners and figuring it out yourself. Like, this is what this guy does. This is how he's getting better. Do you think that is what makes you better at wrestling, or do you think that what makes you better is just constantly just wrestling and just figuring it out, like gaining a feel? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like, or do you think it's the having Cale Sandersons around you, like the best coaches in the world, and them teaching you certain techniques?
I think that having good partners is more important than good techniques. I think when you have good partners, like you can play and wrestle every day and you figure things out for yourself. Because like I can teach you a technique, but it might not be the technique for you.
Right.
You know, like I'm not really an ankle pick guy.
Yep.
But if I'm wrestling with great guys, like, I'll figure out what's good for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like one of the things I really liked about Penn State was like almost anybody you grabbed was a really good wrestler. And we were wrestling at an intensity that was playful. So you could figure things out. And I figured out a lot of things that were good for me.
Right.
So I'd say it's probably more important. But you need technique too. You need great coaches. You know, it's hard to be successful if you don't have a good leader.
Right. Yeah. I feel like, you know, for me, I feel like I've gotten a lot better in the last 8 months. And I feel like part of that was that I kind of stopped focusing on, like, my hand needs to be here specifically. Or my shoulder needs to be here specifically. And I just kind of figured it out. I just figured, like, what moves work best for me. You know, what kind of wrestling is best for my body type.
Just wrestle.
Right.
Yeah.
And just kind of figuring it out as you go. Like, I feel like wrestling is such a field compared to other things like jiu-jitsu. I feel like jiu-jitsu is such a technique-based sport.
Yeah.
You know, where you really have to have your hands in a certain position. You really have to have, like, their foot, you know, under your armpit when you do something like a leg lock, or you have to have something very specific. As opposed to wrestling, I feel like it's just complete. A lot of it's just feel.
Do you think maybe that's
true?
because, like, in jiu-jitsu, there's, like, multiple ways for you to get tapped out, whereas in wrestling, it's, like, you're back on the ground, and that's the only way?
Probably. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think with jiu-jitsu, like, there's so many submissions. Like, so many of the moves are so intricate. Like, the littlest difference, and the choke is not choking you at all. You slide a little bit more, and it's choking you like that.
Right.
Where in wrestling, like, if you grab a leg, you can grab a leg so many different ways and finish your shot. Like, you can finish your shot so many different ways.
And when you finish a shot, it's not a fucking fatal thing to the guy, you know, whereas when you finish a submission, it's over.
Like, wrestling, you can have more, like, if you're very athletic, you can, if you touch the legs, you can just be an athlete and finish a shot. But if you're an incredible athlete in jiu-jitsu, it doesn't matter. If you're doing the move wrong, you're doing the move wrong. You can't finish the submission.
That's true.
So it's a good point. You know, I think that's why there's a lot of more, like, kind of like nerdy guys doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
They're like really
Fucking cerebral
intellectual.
guys.
Yeah, like they're like sitting crisscross applesauce, and they're like, double ashi garami, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, geez,
Like,
bro,
I'll fuck you up.
I don't know about all that shit, man. But
Yeah.
That's
but
funny.
yeah.
What about striking? Does that tie into striking? What's striking? Is it more feel? Is it more? Because sometimes when I see guys slipping punches, I don't understand, like, how do you see that punch coming?
Okay, well, a lot
Like,
of that
how
is
do you
just built in.
That's what I mean. Like, so when I down block a shot,
Yeah.
that kind of tied into that. Like, if I down block a shot, I would think that someone like my mom would be like, how did you do that? Like, how did you move your leg back at the exact right moment? But for me, it's just kind of second nature. Is that the same thing when you're slipping a punch?
Kind of. A lot of the times when you see those incredible defensive movements where you're like, how the fuck did they see that?
They're just doing that in practice all the time.
Every day you practice pull, slip, roll, pull, slip, roll. So all of a sudden in the fight, you pull, slip, roll, and you were going to do that anyways. Even if they only threw the jab, you were going to pull, slip, roll. But they happen to throw the 1, 2, 3, you pull, slip, roll, and it looks like, oh, dude, he's like genius. But really, you're doing a built-in movement that you've been practicing.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? But sometimes it is reaction time. Like, you wait, they punch, you pull. You know, you pull and counter.
I know you kind of talked about this, but in your first fight, like, I fuck around with the heavy bag, right? And every time I'm doing it, I'm always like trying to pretend like there's someone else there trying to throw a punch at me. So I'll do like 1, 2, and then I'll block.
Yeah.
To pretend like they're throwing the same combo as me.
That's good.
And then I'll be like, dude, me and Cooper just fuck around for 2 seconds. Cooper throws like a 2% punch, and it's like in my eyeballs in a second. I'm like, what the holy shit? Like, I couldn't, you know, it's so different than actually trying to just practice something.
Yeah.
And how did it feel whenever you went into the first fight? Because you already said, like, he punched you once hard and you just went for a shot.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine the thought process of being like, okay, this guy literally is going to try to kill me right now. And I have to do the same thing to him.
And going off of that, like, how is that different than going into a wrestling match?
Oh, well, in a wrestling match, you're not worried about getting hurt. You know, like in a fight, you're worried about getting hurt and embarrassed. that first fight, I was like, I was gonna strike with the guy. He was like a longer, lankier black dude, and those kind of guys, like they always have like extra pop. You know, they're lanky, they're athletic, and I was gonna strike with him, bing, shoot. Like if you go back to like what you know. So right away I took a shot, and then it was easy. But the difference is like you're more worried about getting hurt. Right. In wrestling, like you maybe lose, but you don't get hurt.
That's kind of interesting that you bring it up. Like your instincts were to go for a shot. I wonder how much that plays into like every fight, really.
Yeah, I think that was the difficulty of my last 2 fights, was that both guys were jiu-jitsu specialists. Like they were competitive jiu-jitsu guys who competed in jiu-jitsu. So for me, like my second nature is to shoot and wrestle. That's where I'm relaxed. That's where I can rest. But in those 2 fights, it really wasn't resting, because now that I'm on top of them, I'm in their world. So it was like they were tough matchups. You know?
That's probably really cool though that you got to experience that.
Yeah, because now the next time I fight a guy who's not a jiu-jitsu specialist, I'm be on top of him and feel like, oh my god, this guy's not even trying. I'll just slice right through him. You know, that'll be the next fight, I think.
Yeah, because it's scary whenever you're on top of a jiu-jitsu guy, because you probably can't really overcommit to your ground and pound, or else they're gonna catch you with something.
You can't relax.
No.
Like you think, oh, I'm taking them down, I'm gonna rest for a sec, but you can't, because they're working. This is their moment.
Exactly.
You know.
Now,
that's tough. Yeah. Well,
tying into your last 2 fights, like, how do you think that plays into? Because in my mind, like, you won the fight. Like, you ended up on top. You were taking the fight to where you wanted to take it, right? So then now people are being very like judgmental of the judges in MMA.
Yeah.
Because they're rewarding people that are maybe like making it more entertaining for the casuals. You know, like, what do you think about like MMA judging in general? You know, because you see even like, let's take example like a popular fight, Sean O'Malley with Peter Yan.
Yeah.
Like Peter Yan was taking the fight. It's a lot different, obviously, than your last fight, because Sean was doing a lot of damage, but Peter was taking the fight.
Closer.
Yeah, Peter was taking the fight where he wants it to.
Yeah.
But isn't that the definition of like winning a fight? Like, you're taking it where you want. Like, you're doing your thing. Like, even if you're pressing a guy against the cage, if you did that for 10 minutes straight, you're taking him where you want to take it.
Yeah,
right?
you won the fight. I mean, that's the thing. Now they've scrambled it so much where you don't know what it means to win the fight.
Exactly.
You know, the judging is just so abstract. Like, you have no idea. Like, honestly, there'll be fights that are pretty obvious who won, and I'll be like, God, I don't know, man.
Exactly.
We'll see.
Yeah.
You know?
that's what we always say, that like an AI should do it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Maybe. I mean, right now the problem is we have boxing judges,
Right, a 10-8
as
system.
True. Yeah.
MMA judges.
You have a 10-8 system.
Yeah, they don't know.
Which works for boxing.
Yeah, not for MMA. There's just too many variables.
I heard someone say, I don't know if it was Joe Rogan or not, but like they think there should be like maybe like 150 point system, where wrestling is a certain, you get a takedown, that's a certain amount of points. You land strikes, that's a certain amount of points. You slip a punch, you know, you check a kick, you land a leg kick, all that's a certain amount of points.
Even if they added up like strike totals, takedown totals, control time totals, and there was a point system awarded for that, like wrestling, that would even be probably better. Or if they had 5 judges, because like 3 judges, if one or if 2 of the 3 guys are just dipshits, your fucking career's changed. You know?
Right.
But what about if someone like, you know, like Holloway, where he's gonna throw like 100 punches every single round?
Yeah.
If he's gonna land 30 of those, he'll never lose unless he gets submitted.
Yeah, right. Well,
You know.
he's fucking winning, right?
Yeah.
He's landing more punches. I mean, that's the thing. They talk about damage, but damage is subjective,
Right.
right? Like,
True. Yeah. Like
how-
you get cut in
how-
the face. That's,
yeah.
You know, obviously you're gonna look fucked up.
yeah.
It might just been a good elbow that didn't really even land that well. You know.
Dude, if you punch me right now, like brush me, I'll get marked up because I have fair skin. My skin marks easily.
True.
But is that damage?
Yeah.
It's subjective. But there's like, oh, damage. Well, what is damage? Unless you see the guy get wobbled, that's
True,
damage.
true.
You can
Yep,
see that.
yep.
It's objective. But subjective damage is like,
Even the Sean O'Malley fight, when he hit the knee and that's what cut Peter.
yeah,
And it really made him bleed a lot.
yeah,
Like, who
Probably what
knows?
made him win the fight.
yeah.
No, that is what made him win the fight.
I mean,
for
I'm
sure.
cool.
Yeah, it's
I'm
just
cool with like that kind of damage. Like if you cut a guy, if you make him bleed, if he gets wobbled, like these are things you can physically see.
True.
But some guys' skin marks up more easily than others. How do we know that's damage? Or if one guy's just pitter pattering, is that damage, or is it just volume?
Yeah, you
You know?
should have like multiple judges that really know what they're talking about. like black belts
Yeah.
in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, retired MMA
retired
fighters.
world
Yeah.
champion boxers, retired world champion
Yeah.
kickboxers, you know, all that stuff.
I think so. It's hard too though because almost every retired fighter is gonna have a connection with another fighter, and then it's like, is there bias? It's
That's true. Yeah.
it's an imperfect system,
Right.
you know.
Right.
It's not like the NFL where like the refs they did not play in the NFL. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're just
You kind of have to fucking be involved in UFC somehow to
you
be
have
a ref.
to,
yeah.
or else you don't know what you're talking
Yeah, you
about.
have no idea.
You know?
Yeah. If you just study the sport but you've never actually done it, what you think about the sport is still way off.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah.
How much do you think that just like blatant confidence plays in a fight?
Dude, a lot. I think. A lot. I think a guy like McGregor, you know, I think he was really good, but I think he was so much better because he just believed so much more than everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, same thing for wrestling.
Yeah.
But in fighting, like everyone's pretty good. It's who thinks that they're better. I think. You know?
Yeah, I like from an outside perspective, I don't really do any. I've only wrestled till 9th grade. That's the only combat sport that I've even been a part of. But whenever I see fighters that just exuberate that, I'm drawn to them. I'm like, oh, this guy, you know, is interesting. You know, it's crazy to think, because, I mean, the fact of nature, everyone knows that a fucking dipshit could just hit you with a clean punch and he'll knock you the fuck out, right? And like these fights, there's so much just luck and not a lot of luck, but you know what I mean. Like they can hit you the right way, you know, and it's just like you're gonna go down and they could be worse than you, and that's it. Yeah. But you know, it's so interesting. It's like when you see someone that just exuberates that confidence and they take it right to the ring, and it's like immediately they're just fucking, you know, they're just doing weird shit, and you're just like, I love watching people like that.
Dude, whenever you have actually fought too, it's even more impressive. When you see guys who are so confident that they're talking shit in there, they're so relaxed, it's really impressive because like being in the fight is very high stakes. So for a guy to be so relaxed that they're talking shit and they're like, you know, mean mugging and stuff, that's a different level of confidence and relaxation in a serious moment.
Like, how do you think people get to that? Because it can't be. It's not from logic, obviously, because logically they would know that anybody can knock them the fuck out. And if you think that way, though, you're going to be humble, right? Because you probably think like that. You're probably like, you know, anyone can
I think
fuck you up.
When I'm fighting, I'm thinking like, I don't want to get hit one time.
Yep.
Like I'm trying to not get hit once.
Yeah.
Because you just never know. And the last thing I want is for something like that to happen. I think some of these guys, like they grew up fighting, so they've been fighting for so long they just don't give a shit. Like they're just, you know, I don't know.
Nothing to lose. Like just.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't have that experience, so I don't know. You know, I never fought a day in my life until my first fight.
True,
so fucking beats me, you know. I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
But some of these guys are just maybe a lifetime of street fights.
Like Masvidal, yeah.
Yeah, man, the guy's been fighting for 20 years. You know, you can't be more relaxed in there.
True.
Yeah. Fight for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, he understands competition so well.
Yeah, and he knows the stakes. Like he's experienced the worst of the worst. I haven't. You know, I don't know what it's like to get knocked out in front of people or have a arm break or something. You know.
True. Sold out.
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. Don't know. Never happened.
Right.
You know, I've only had just like 2 decision losses, like whatever. You know, nothing really happened.
Yeah.
So.
How do you deal with loss?
Dude, I've been dealing with loss my whole life. You know, like wrestling, you lose so much that it's obviously it sucks, and it's harder in fighting because in wrestling, like if you lose on Tuesday, you get to wrestle again Thursday. But in fighting, it might be 6 months, a year.
Yeah.
To sit with it.
But yeah, I'm just trying to take the positives away from it. Like, hey, why am I losing, and what do I need to do to fix this? Even if I don't really think that it was a loss, I'm like, okay, well, why didn't I finish the guy?
Yeah.
You know, and there's always something you can take away from it.
That's kind of cool because in the stock market, my whole goal every day is to just trade a lot and try to see like cracks in my system, because the whole thing is like you want to have a strategy that you're good at. So I have a strategy I'm good at. Whenever I take a loss, that's like an opportunity more than a problem, where I have an opportunity to see like this is a crack in my system. Like, do you see fighters actually approaching it in terms of like, you know, obviously Masvidal, he'll have like he's like a striking guy, you know, that's like his strategy or whatever. You're a wrestler, you know, is that like something you guys like? Does everyone in the room have a different kind of like strategy, would you say?
Maybe. Depends on. I mean, like obviously, if you're a striker, I'm gonna try to strike, but they'll work on wrestling. For me, I'm working on striking and jiu-jitsu. It's fight to fight, person to person.
Yeah. I want to bounce off of that. So obviously, like, you're getting better at striking, you're getting better at jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and all that stuff. But you're really good at wrestling. Like you're better than most of those guys, if not everyone at ATT, probably at wrestling. So whenever you're doing sparring and whenever you're training and stuff like that, I'm always curious, like, are you training, like, I want to make my wrestling better and I want to be like 100% way better at them at wrestling when I'm sparring them. Like, I want to make sure I'm finding ways to take them down and I'm finding ways to, like, get to submissions. Or are you thinking, like, I want to really work on where I haven't worked on in the previous 15 years of my life, which is striking. So, like, I'm not going to take that opportunity to take them down because I know I can do that. I want to get better at striking. Are you trying to, like, sharpen other things, or are you trying to, like, really sharpen wrestling?
I find myself when I spar striking more. Like just ended up. It's really fun, and it's what I need work on. I know if I take the guy down, like, okay, like this is my rest. So I want to work and push myself. So I strike more in sparring.
Right.
Wrestling's no joke though too. It's always hard. So
yeah, you put someone into a wrestling scramble that they're not really accustomed to wrestling.
Yeah,
they're dead after. They're really dead.
Even if you've been wrestling your whole life, you get into a hard scramble and it's like, whew, okay.
Yeah. But I feel like when you're really accustomed to wrestling, obviously I've only sparred like a handful of times, and it hasn't been high stakes. It's really just been pretty much touch sparring.
Yeah.
When you're really accustomed to wrestling, though, you know how to control your breathing. Like I know how to get into a scramble and then control my breathing and relax. Yeah. But as opposed to whenever have to work on, like, I have to make sure I'm not getting kicked in the head. I have to make sure I'm not getting punched. Then I start losing my breath because I'm not used to that kind of stuff. I start kind of like getting a little bit nervous, and then I start getting really tired.
Yeah, that'll make you tired. Yeah, the striking will make you tired.
But then I put them in wrestling. I put a boxer in wrestling, and then that starts getting them tired because I know how to control my breath when I'm scrambling.
Yeah,
I'm kind of accustomed to it.
Yeah,
they're not. They're nervous. Like, I don't want him to take my back.
Yeah.
But when we're on the feet, I'm nervous. I don't want to get clipped.
Yeah, and you don't know how to breathe when you punch. Like it's totally different.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not breathing.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like you can be in incredible shape as a wrestler and gas in one round as a boxer.
That's cool.
Or in incredible shape as a boxer, gas in 3 minutes wrestling.
Right.
It's just like
Is
it with like that for jiu-jitsu too, for wrestlers?
Maybe not as much. It's a little closer. Yeah. But
well, jiu-jitsu is so much more relaxed.
It is more relaxed too.
Like, advance to the next position. Relax.
Yeah.
Advance to the next position. At least in my experience.
A lot of it is just being relaxed, man. Between all the sports, it's like if you can relax and know, okay, I'm comfortable here. I know what I'm doing. You'll be fine.
Comes back to the same shit you did in high school.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Just being relaxed.
Yeah. That's what confidence is, really. It's
100%.
like I believe that I'm the best person here, and I will win.
Yeah. So you're relaxed. You're not tensing up. You're not breathing heavy.
You're not scared at all about the future.
Yeah. You know you're gonna win.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We did a long time.
Yeah.
It's been
It's been like 2.5 hours almost. I feel like.
Yeah. I gotta go eat dinner.
Couple technical difficulties.
Sorry about the technical difficulties.
No, it's good. This was fun.
Yeah.
We'll do it again in the summer.
we'll definitely have to do it
when
again.
I get back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before these SD cards run out, thanks for coming on, Cody.
Yeah.
Love you,
Thanks,
bro.
guys. This was fun,
Love you,
man.
Yeah.
It was
awesome.
a good time. I'm glad we'll do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Peace.
That was
right.
That was
Right on
like-
time, bro.
Right on.
The twins, man. We got it.
Peace.